Mm.
Hurry up. Is she going somewhere?
Hey, what's up? Think you gotta unmute your mic.
Oh, there we go. I had to hit the other button yet. Like
Yeah.
the MCDC shirt, brother.
What's it? Oh yeah, MCDC. Hell yeah.
Motor City, Danimal the Cannibal.
Yes, sir. So you did well at your pool tournament tonight, huh?
Yeah, I torched a few guys.
Awesome, man. Always good to see a friend make some money, even if it's from playing some pool,
Well, you don't win if you don't play.
right? I'd do it, but I'm not a very good pool player. So
You should come up and get some lessons from my landlord.
if I'm ever in the Bay City area again anytime soon, I will definitely do that. For sure.
Because he's number 2 in the world in artistic pool professionally.
Awesome. Does he do the trick shot stuff? Or?
Yeah.
Oh man, I gotta see some of that. I love they have that on ESPN sometimes.
Right.
The trick shot
Florian,
pool. So
you know the guy from France, Florian Kohler, right? The
I've heard the name.
He's ahead of him in the rankings.
Nice. That is awesome. So you heard about the trades that happened. San Francisco's at 3 now.
San Francisco traded up to 3, which put Miami back at 12. They traded up with Philly to get to 6.
Yeah, and I was just scrolling along Facebook and I seen an interesting article. I posted this in the chat earlier, but Chris Sims, who is apparently very good friends with Kyle Shanahan, I guess they talk a lot or whatever. On his podcast, he came out and said, don't count out the 49ers taking Mac Jones at 3.
Oh my God. Bitch to bitch all over again.
Yup. Mac Jones, what the hell?
Over Lance and Wilson, I don't see it. And Fields.
Yeah, that would be the equivalent, if not worse. Well, almost worse than drafting Mitch the bitch. Mitch was a 4th round quarterback, and at least Jones is somewhere in the 1st round. So,
well, Mitch was considered a late 1st round, early 2nd, technically. But to pick them where they did, yeah, it was the equivalent of grabbing a 4th or 5th round linebacker in the 2nd round.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Oh man, that's just. Yeah, I won't say it, but yeah, it's pretty bad. Yeah.
Who's upset in the background?
That's my son here. He's getting all crazy and he's wanting to play with his bubbles right now. Grandma brought him an Easter basket early and it had a thing with bubbles. So.
He's throwing a fit. Gotcha.
Yeah, because we told them we're not opening that in the house. So
I'm doing the ball boys.
yeah,
I remember those days.
yeah.
Yeah, so there's a million things that could happen now. And here's where I think it would be great for Detroit. Trade up with the Jets. Go ahead and make that trade. Give up the extra picks next year and the year after and the first to get the second. Then trade back and fleece somebody for Wilson.
That would be awesome. I would not mind that at all. Dom, you in here?
I am.
Oh, there you are, buddy. Good to see you. How's it going?
Hypothetical, Dom.
What'd you say?
We take the extra pick from next year and the year after, move up to 2 with the Jets, and then fleece somebody so they can get Wilson.
Yeah.
Because then we
You
can
know,
get
it's funny because I wasn't even thinking about that until like a week or so. I think maybe one of you guys brought it up, but it's like we've got the future assets to trade up, and that's the thing. Like, not even trade up to get someone, just trade up to make someone else trade up, and then
Right.
fleece them. Fuck
because
yeah.
right now, the team that most needs a quarterback out of those top 8 is really Carolina.
Mm-hmm. I was talking to my buddy that's a Carolina fan, and I was
And
like,
they
you guys
to
might have
get
missed
Zach
out.
Wilson or Trey Lance, and they'd have their choice if they got up to 2.
Well, what Carolina ought to do is trade Christian McCaffrey and Bridgewater, and less first round picks than it would normally cost them, and go get Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, and I could see that happening, but right now we don't even know if Deshaun Watson is going to be able to play this year.
Yeah, there's that.
Well,
It's
yeah,
So
funny.
that's why
It's
nobody's
funny,
making the
after
move.
those trades from today, like they didn't have the order all the way like accurate, but one of the
Right.
ones that I saw, I can't even remember who it had. I think Chase again at 7, but then it had
Another guy
Slater
had
dropping
Micah
to 8.
Parsons.
It had Slater dropping to 8 and Carolina taking him, and I'm like, I swear to God, like, you guys is my witness. If either one of those O linemen are there and we don't take them, I'm a Raiders fan till further notice.
I won't be a Raiders fan. You know who I will be a fan of? 100%.
Who?
The Rams.
Yep. If we pass on either of those O linemen and take broken
O-line.
ankle
Don't-
Waddle,
If we don't address defense with that pick for a wide receiver, if the O lineman, let's say there's only Slater there and we have the choice between him and, God forbid I say it, Parsons or Patrick Surtain. Just because he looks like he's the real deal. But Okuda looked like the real deal too.
yeah, there's
Hard to
Hearing
say
on the
about
corner.
Okuda. He had so many things working again. I expect him to be a lot better this year.
Oh, I do too, 100%. I mean, if you look at the measurables for Patrick Surtain and Okuda, measurable wise, they're the exact same player.
And the other thing is, there have been a whole bunch of Ohio State corners that came out prior to Okuda. Like, Ohio State was working its way into the new DBU conversation.
Right. Let's see what they had. Gamble. Oh God, I'm
The one
drawing
that
a
just got arrested, Lattimore, Denzel
Lattimore,
Ward,
Eli
Apple
Apple.
was good for a minute, but he kind of washed out.
Yeah, as soon as he got hurt, he was done.
Mhm.
Because up until he got hurt, he looked like the real deal for the Giants.
I
And who
still,
was
I'm
the
afraid we're
safeties
going to
that
take
came
one
out
of
of
those
there that were good?
wideouts or Parsons. And it's like, for God's sake, don't do it.
I was more impressed, and I think Jeremy would agree with at that Penn State Pro Day with that defensive end, Jason Owe or whatever. He ran that 4.35 40.
But you gotta remember, he's basically Micah Parsons heavy. And he was faster
Yeah.
because he only weighs 257. So he's more of a linebacker than a DN.
Yeah, and they did say
Well,
he was still kind of
But
raw.
speaking upon that, and I was already 95% out on Parsons. Then I went and looked at his pro compare. I can't even remember who it was, but his pro comparison was some safety. I can't remember who it was. I said something about it in one of the groups.
I mean, if you look at his measurables, he's 10 pounds heavier. He's Isaiah Simmons.
Oh, so another guy that doesn't have a position. My thing is, if I would have went and looked at Parsons and they said, you know, Ray Lewis, Patrick Willis, or, you know, any other sweet linebacker,
Or
you know,
even
Ryan
Luke
Urlacher.
Kuechly. Even Luke Kuechly,
Yeah, or Kuechly.
which
I mean,
Jabril Cox-
you know, if
Jabril
we could
Cox
look
is
forward
getting
a
the Luke
year or
Kuechly.
3 years and you could tell me that, you know, Chris Spielman could teach him to be the next Chris Spielman, I'm all in.
Right.
But
Whereas
the
Jabril,
dude's not a middle, correct?
I'm all in on Jabril Cox in the mid to second to the third round, early third.
Parsons isn't a middle, correct?
He played the middle his sophomore year, but he was an edge and outside guy his freshman year.
Yeah, you can't take a linebacker that
My
high
nephew's
unless
like-
it's the middle.
My nephew's like, but he led the team in tackles. I said, assisted tackles, yes. Solo,
You can't take a linebacker that high unless he's the middle. You can't.
right.
If we end
I'm
up trading
all
back,
in on trading up to trade back and getting
And people are like,
fleecing
oh, he's
somebody for
fast.
a
Like,
lot
yeah,
of
you know who
picks
else
this
was
year.
fast? Jared Davis.
And as
there's
a matter of fact, Daniel Jeremiah, remember I posted this, it was like 3 weeks ago. He said, look at this verbatim. And he listed the two side by side, and it was the exact same scouting profile. Jared Davis and Micah Parsons.
I did actually think, or I was reminded of a number one wideout that's under 6 feet tall and under 200 pounds. AJ Brown.
Yeah, but he became a one throughout the season. He
Well,
didn't
mainly
start
because
out
Corey Davis kind of washed out.
right.
The
Films are
only
gonna be
one, the most
nasty.
recent example is Antonio Brown, and he was a 6th rounder.
Yeah, and he was 5'11" and $180.
Yeah, my buddy that's Eagles fan, he's all pissed off because they traded down. He's like, we missed out on, we're going to miss out on generational talent. I'm like, who? Not any of those wideouts. Maybe
No.
Kyle Pitts.
I would say Kyle Pitts is the only one truly in that top echelon that I think is a generational talent for tight end, because he isn't just a tight end. He's a wide receiver in a tight end's body.
But even
Interesting.
still, like, how do you take a tight end that high? That's a luxury pick.
But like I said, he played more snaps at the 1, the 2, and the 3 than he played at tight end at Florida.
Oh, right. I think he's like a Jimmy Graham on steroids.
He's like a Jimmy Graham with Nico Collins speed almost.
he's going to play more wide receiver at the next level than he does tight end. He's known more for his pass catching than inline blocking. So
he's like fast and way
100%.
better, like Devin Funches.
Yep, he's going to be.
Wow.
You
like,
know who he's going to be?
Putting those two names in the same sentence.
He's Calvin Benjamin. He's Calvin Benjamin.
Oh, wow.
Speed.
Fat Kelvin?
Yeah, you know, I seen Calvin in a Bills uniform when they signed him to try out. And I swear to God, it looked like Queen Latifah.
Fat Kelvin. You know what's funny? Remember when Jimmy Graham was still a Saint and they went to franchise tag him and he tried to argue that he should get the wide receiver franchise tag because he lined up more snaps as in the slot and as a wide receiver.
Yeah, and the NFL shot him down.
That's how we ended up with goddamn Ebron, because stupid ass Joe Lombardi was like, oh, Ebron could be the next Jimmy Graham.
Yeah, and his draft
He could've.
profile even said suspect hands.
Well, yeah, he dropped I
He
believe at
dropped
the
30%
combine,
of the.
I think at his pro day, he dropped like 3 passes in a row.
Pittsburgh just restructured Ebron's contract also. So
Like, how did they manage to go and draft both in the first round, mind you? Like Brandon Pettigrew, I thought Brandon Pettigrew had the worst hands at tight end that I've ever seen. Then we
And
drafted
then-
Eric Ebron.
And then came Eric Ebron. Exactly.
You know how many touchdown catches Brandon Pettigrew had as a
one
senior?
thing going for him. He could run block.
Yeah. Pettigrew
Ebron
actually
couldn't
broke.
block.
I can't remember if it was catches or yards, but he broke our all-time single season record in one of the two, and then broke his own record.
yeah,
And he could run block. The thing about Pettigrew was like, you just had to get him involved early, and if he caught that first pass, he
He was
might have a
money.
good game.
yeah.
As
I
soon as
remember
he got
that.
Like,
his pass, he was
I-
money.
I kind of feel sorry for Eric Ebron because they put him in a bad situation by where he was drafted. Our O-line was so terrible, like they tried to force him to block. And
And
then
he
he made the biggest mistake, like trying to argue with the Detroit media.
Oh yeah.
It's fun. Years ago when he still had a Facebook page, he had just had a kid and he posted a picture. And just immediately I was like, I hope you do a better job holding on to that kid than you do a football.
Oh damn.
Who is that one center offensive lineman we had? I can think of him at the top of my head, but I forgot his name. That straight up like flipped off Detroit Lions fans.
Raiola.
Dominic
Dominic
Raiola.
Raiola.
That was great. And you know what? I don't blame him from doing that because that guy, I don't know, like we were getting booed at home and shit, and I guess he just had enough. So
Yeah, that was the 0
He
16.
was not good. That dude was a huge partier.
yes, he was.
Raiola. Plus he was undersized. Was he Nebraska
But he
or
was-
Wisconsin? Nebraska, I think,
First
right?
3 years,
I want to say
his first
Nebraska.
3 years, he was mediocre, and then he came on, and he actually became a really good center for us.
He was solid.
Yeah, I said really good. I didn't say great.
He's like, y'all want to boo us in our home stadium? Fuck y'all. And he
Yeah.
flipped
Did we draft him in the first round? I think we may have.
I don't know if he was a first round pick or a third or what, but
I thought he was a second or third.
Second round. I'm gonna look right now. R-A, how do you spell that? Raiola. R-A-O-L-I-A.
Raiola.
Right.
Hola. Hola.
Oh, oh my God, I have the best Dominic Raiola story ever. Second
Let's hear it.
round, 50th overall. Let's see who we missed out on when we drafted him. Where's this fucker at? Well, Sean Rogers, but we got him later. That actually wasn't a terrible pick. It's closed now, but there was a bar in Westland called Malarkey's.
I remember Malarkey's.
I remember it. Yep.
And me and my buddies used to go up there on Mondays, and like some of the Lions would show up, like Orlovsky a lot, Raiola. Oh my God, this was the greatest shit ever. That's when I knew he was fucking a bitch. But so we're up there, me and a couple of my buddies. Orlovsky was there, Raiola. I can't remember who else. They were usually like a couple of the ones that were there on a regular basis, but Raiola was like harassing this chick, like literally fucking all night long, and she was not having it. And my buddy, like maybe not state champ, but like he was in the state finals for wrestling, wrestled in college at EMU. He was just fucking. He was about Raiola's height, but like more cut up and muscular. Like Raiola was like 5'11" or 6 foot and like 295. My boy was like 5'10", 5'11" and like 260. But he was cut the fuck up. So we had already walked by, and my boy kind of like looked at him. So then later on, Like it's a skirmish and some chick screaming, and it was Raiola fucking with her. So my buddy goes over there and just fucking balls him up like immediately, like twists his arm. One of them's like behind his back, the other one's up over his head, like down on the ground immediately. And he's like, "Now say you're sorry." It was fucking awesome.
Heck yeah.
That sounds like a pretty interesting night there. Dominic
That's
Raiola, little bitch boy.
That's fucking Raiola in a nutshell.
Partier
Jeff-
for sure.
Jeff Backus.
Ha. So I was talking to Jeremy about this just before you popped on. And I think you've seen this up in the chat, but I'm going to bring it up again. So, after the trades went down and San Francisco moved up to 3, Chris Sims went on a podcast, former NFL quarterback. I guess him and Kyle Shanahan are buddies and shit like that. And he said, they talk a lot or whatever. He said, don't count out the 49ers drafting Mac Jones at number 3.
Phil Sims is all about Mac Jones for some reason. I had heard that a couple of weeks ago, and I was like, are you insane?
Right. And I'm like, and me and Jeremy were talking about this. I'm like, that almost be the equivalent of the Bears reaching for Mitch the Bitch a few years back.
I mean, I wouldn't want either, but I would take Justin Fields 11 times out of 10 over fucking Mac Jones.
I agree. So would I, but
That was the other one I've seen today since the order updated, and I'm like, I mean, either one of those dudes at 3, that's your, take your pick. One of those two is your what the fuck pick, because neither one of them is worth going there.
They're not worth it.
Fields, like, I literally haven't heard anything really good about Mac Jones. Like, he doesn't have a super strong arm. He's bigger than I thought. He's like 6'3", 215. But he's not super athletic. He's not, super duper accurate. Plus, like you're throwing to fucking Alabama wideouts with Alabama O-lineman blocking for you, with Alabama running back standing off to.
Yeah,
I want Belichick to trade up to 9 and get him.
Yeah, that's a valid point, and it's crazy because I don't know. It just he's not worth that pick, and he's the what the hell pick this year. Like it's.
Is that a smoke screen so San Francisco can get more picks this year?
It's possible. I believe that's possible. That's the other thing I was thinking about too. Like they're gonna put that out there, so maybe they can get somebody else to trade up, and
that could definitely, because they already said they're running with Garoppolo, and the thing is that defense is so good and their O-line is good. They've got good receivers. Like when Garoppolo is healthy. The last time he was healthy for a whole year, they made the Super Bowl and almost won it.
Yep.
Like Garoppolo's not, he's not great, but
not bad.
I can't believe that Belichick didn't try to go get him.
That still might happen.
Maybe Belichick sits there and sees how the top part of the draft plays out, and I mean, everyone's assuming the first 3 or 4 picks is going to be quarterbacks, but if it's not, maybe when it slips down to Detroit, maybe he calls us and offers us a deal to move up, depending on who's.
I'd be all about it. The more what the fuck picks happen, it's like I said earlier. The more what the fuck picks we see, the better chance that we can get one of those O-linemen.
Right.
I'm all about one of the two, even Darashaw. You know what I'm saying? Like.
Yeah,
my top 2 are Slater and Sewell.
I would rather get him like 10 through 19.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like if Belichick calls us, what I'm saying, we move back and he's there.
How
why
far
not?
down would we have to move, in your guys' opinion, for you to be okay with taking Carson?
Anywhere 10 through 19.
That's what I was saying, like 12.
Yeah,
That's
like
why
out of the
San Francisco was a good candidate. Because I feel like San Francisco, had they not already moved up, they could have moved up to 7 and probably got Fields. And we could have traded down to 12.
I heard something today that even if they had stayed at 6, that the Eagles were in on Jalen Waddle, which y'all know I would have been fine with. Take him so we can, you know.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. All 3 of those wideouts. Take him so we don't.
Yes.
And I'm almost wondering,
Especially in this draft.
because of how they're sitting, and they're keeping Matt Ryan in Atlanta. So, with that being said, do they take a flyer and grab Chase, Waddle, or Smith?
I mean, maybe like that. Supposedly there was a chance they were already going to try to move Julio Jones in the offseason, but it didn't happen.
Right. But with only Calvin Ridley and Julio Jones, their third option is kind of
right. Like, yeah, they could use one, especially if they're looking to move on from Julio. I would be trying to move him regardless, just to get out from underneath that contract.
I think he restructured.
Yeah, he was I had forgot about his. He's the other one that's making like, around 20 mil besides Cooper. Jerry Jones is a fucking idiot.
Oh yeah.
He's
How much
literally
did he sign
got,
Kazee for?
he's got the biggest quarterback contract, the biggest wide receiver contract, the biggest running back contract. One of those O linemen makes more than anyone else at his position. Zach Martin, I think. And I think maybe not now, but like when they gave DeMarcus Lawrence all that money, he was getting the most money at the end.
And that's fine. You want most of your money wrapped up in your O line and your D line.
Right. Oh yeah, for sure.
But the
yeah,
highest paid running back, yearly salary, I think he's second or third now.
I was having a conversation with somebody earlier about Dallas and like Romo versus Dak. And I'm like, man, like Dak had everything that Romo did. Like you put a prime Romo on that Cowboys team, Dak's first 2 years, that's a Super Bowl contender.
Right. If Romo wouldn't have needed like a RoboCop suit to play.
Yeah, because their O-line was shitty back then and the defense wasn't good either.
They just started to get their picks, but they weren't developed yet.
Right.
Like, they had.
I was trying to think of another one in between.
Nothing
really comes to mind, but like Emmitt Smith's offensive line and then Zeke's offensive line, those are the two best eras of O-lines in 30 years. Like who else had an O-line that was that good?
There's never been an O-line as good as Emmitt Smith.
That's why I discredit him. That's why he's not in my top 5 running back. Maybe
no,
he's 5.
6 with me. He is 6, just because of his longevity.
Well, I mean, Barry's 1 or Jim Brown 1, 1/1A.
I almost had to put Jim Brown ahead of Barry because he did so much in so little time.
I mean, they are the only 2 with the requisite amount of carries to average 5 yards a carry or more for a career.
Right.
Jamal Charles doesn't count.
Yeah, Jamal Charles doesn't.
3 is sweetness.
Yep.
I mean, really, the reason I have Emmitt outside the top 5 is because I would take
4. In 4 and 5, I have a toss-up. It's kind of like a 4A, 4B between Earl Campbell and Dickerson.
Yeah, I mean, I would take either one of them over Emmitt Smith as well. I was thinking
because the one was more of a power back with a little bit of speed, and the other guy was just a burner.
Yeah, I wish Earl Campbell wouldn't have got hurt so soon.
Right.
They just abused him though. But in addition to that, I would also take Marshall Faulk or LaDainian Tomlinson over.
If Billy Sims could have played 2 more years, I'd have him ahead of Emmitt Smith.
Please, everyone, welcome. Andrew's in here, and Parker from the football group is in here. So, what's up, y'all?
Hey, what up? What up? How y'all doing?
Pretty
Doing
good.
good. How
Pretty
you
good.
doing, Andrew?
Hey, I'm
Good.
all right. I'm all right. I'm here.
I came home with money in my pocket. OPP, other people's money.
Hey, sweet. $155, I heard.
Now Andrew's sold on Parsons, I bet you.
He sold on Chase more than he is Parsons.
And
He wants Chase so
I
bad
like
he
both.
can Chase.
I like both. I don't know which one to pick. I like both. I wouldn't be mad at
Neither at that spot.
Parker, which team you in here repping? Okay. Well, I guess
I was hoping he was gonna say Vikings.
he left already. So okay.
Saw the Lions people. He's like, oh, I'm out.
Well,
Yeah,
here's the
He thought we
here's the
were gonna
bar
bite
on
his
Jamar
kneecap.
Chase.
He thought we were gonna bite his kneecap.
Andrew, listen, here's the bar on Jamar Chase since you want him so bad.
Okay.
With a qualifier, would you say that Kirk Cousins and Jared Goff are pretty much equally talented? Neither one is that much better than the other?
Yeah. They're about the same.
Okay. Well, Justin Jefferson went at number 22, I believe, to the Vikings, correct? In the 20s,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
He broke the all-time single season rookie receiving record for yards, 1,400.
Yes.
Can Jamar Chase do that? 1,401 or more?
Yes. I think he can. I think he has the skill set and the speed to do it.
With Goff or as his quarterback, without the protection that the right tackle would provide.
But Minnesota's O-line isn't appreciably better than ours, I don't think.
Vikings O-line actually ranked 6 spots above us at 14th in pass protection.
Okay, so they're 14 and we're 20.
We were 20th.
Okay. I mean, is Cousins better than Jared Goff? I think he is actually a little bit better.
He makes better decisions and has a little stronger arm to hit a tight window.
Jared Goff isn't a deep ball guy, and you would think
Actually, I'm gonna throw this out there because it is out there. His QBR over the last 4 years on balls that travel more than 20 yards is higher than Matt Stafford's for one reason. He had fast receivers that could get separation.
Goff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
so far it looks like the wide receivers we signed, although they're not necessarily top end receivers, they were signed due to their speed.
I
So
was going to say they're all three of those dudes are speed guys.
All four.
Yeah.
All four.
Cephas,
We signed 4.
We got the Terrell Williams, Damian Ratley.
Oh, I forgot about Ratley. That's the dude from Cleveland. Perriman. We signed another one?
the dude from Tennessee, I can't remember his name, but he's pretty fast too.
He's a
Yeah.
kick returner. He's also a kick returner.
Raymond. Khalif
Mhm.
Raymond.
Oh, right. Does that dude return kicks? We're going to need one.
And he returns kicks. He averages 9 yards per punt return and almost 19 per kickoff return. But
9
kickoff
is good
return,
on punts.
say what?
9 is real good on punts, actually.
Yes, it is. As an average, it's great.
Well, hopefully that's the guy, because it used to drive me insane when they would put Golden Tate back there on punt returns. It's like, what are you doing?
Well, I put our number 2/1 receiver out there to get creamed on special teams.
Right.
We really don't have a true number one receiver, though, if you think about it.
I'll
We
tell
have
you
those-
what.
No,
I'm
we
going to
don't.
say the number 1 receiver that could happen, who's just as fast as Tate, 4 inches taller, 20 pounds heavier, has a higher vertical leap, and went to the University of Michigan, is Nico Collins.
We could go that route. I wouldn't see why not.
I'd be okay
That's
with
why I
that.
said
I
you-
mean, and that's the thing, unless we draft one of those wide receivers, there's not going to be a clear-cut number one, you know,
Right.
like going into camp or going into the preseason. And honestly, I like it that
think-
way. Like, make those dudes fight it out.
My biggest thing to defend Nico Collins is who did he have fucking throwing to him? Shea fucking Patterson.
Right.
Yeah, it's kind of a sad thing.
That's
Kind of
not the-
shoo-poo-poo. Kind
I mean,
of.
I like that because like he's a big body. Williams is a big body. Like I like big receivers, just
So
period.
do that's why I'm so pissed we picked Tavai over Metcalf.
I
I
agree,
think
I agree with your take on that.
Tyrell Williams is pretty tall too.
Yeah, he's 6'3".
He's
6'3"
good when
and
healthy.
215 or 220.
Yeah, fuck, I forgot about Metcalf. He dropped so far. My thing, like I
He
did
dropped
some
because they said
some
he didn't
studying
have a
on him.
developed route tree. What
and
the?
I was just like, okay, you know, I was like, I don't want him in the first round. And then I think I took my eye off the draft and I just figured he was gone. And then like the next day I saw it and I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
He
Still
went
there.
8 picks later.
I mean, having Russell Wilson helps.
Yeah, but if Metcalf would have been with Stafford, with his deep ball and as accurate as he is with it, what would Detroit do with Metcalf?
Oh my
It'd have
Yeah.
been Calvin Johnson part 2.
That dude's a monster.
Yes.
I think we would have used him more than Seattle does because we would have thrown the ball more.
Well, I don't know about all that because what did he have his rookie year? 1,283 yards on
Yeah.
They also had
78
Tyler
catches.
Lockett though, but I mean, Galladay is better than Tyler Lockett. But Tyler Lockett is not that good.
No,
Like,
it's the fact
Russell
that Metcalf
Wilson
takes
is
the
another
double
one
and
of those
triple teams
quarterbacks
off.
that can make average receivers look good and good ones look great.
Right. Look at Marvin Jones. His best year in Cleveland was like 823 yards and 4 touchdowns.
Cincy, you mean?
I mean, Cincy, yeah.
But yeah, I mean Golden Tate. You know, when
His best
he
year
may
was
have been
Russell Wilson.
underutilized in Seattle, but as soon
750
as he
yards,
got here, he was
3
100
touchdowns.
catches a year. That's why I don't
I don't
trust.
understand these fans that say that Matt Stafford didn't make his receivers better.
Oh,
So
fuck yeah, the thing is, people try to act like they have really informed opinions about him that don't watch him play. Like, yeah, he had Calvin Johnson, but outside of that, none of those guys were really any good.
Right. That 2014-15 team, when we had Nate Burleson for preseason and then he hurt himself carrying a fucking pizza. Golden Tate.
Right.
That was a great receiving core. If we could have kept Burleson going with Tate.
Right. It's like
And-
what's that fucking dude's name? Slant boy in New Orleans, Michael Thomas.
Yep.
That dude's not any good. That's
No.
all Drew Brees.
No, and much as I hate to say it, Mike Evans and Chris Godwin was good with Jameis Winston, and he was crap when he was there. So they're even better now that they got Brady.
Oh, Mike Evans is sweet though. Godwin, he's getting the number 2 corner. Like
Right.
Mike Evans when he's healthy, and he's been mostly healthy. Like Mike Evans is the top 5 to 10 wideout, but it's all bunched together near the top with wide receivers. Like, I mean, there's really no clear cut number 1. Probably DeAndre Hopkins.
Do you think that we should draft a wide receiver in the second round?
I'm saying anywhere
Or later.
Okay, between the 2nd and 5th, there are faster and bigger wide receivers than any of the top 3 in this draft.
Right.
Okay.
yes.
Just get one somewhere and get value. Like if either one, if Rondale Moore or Eskridge slips to like the middle of the 3rd, grab them.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
can see that.
Rondell Moore is being compared to Tariq Hill. Anthony Schwartz, if he had a route tree, would be better than Rondell Moore.
Although,
But route tree can be
I
taught.
mean, it kind of depends on if any of these guys that we just signed work out for more than a year or two. Because they're all speed guys. Like we kind of need a possession receiver.
We do. And that's why I like
Or-
Nico Collins, because he's quick and a possession receiver that can high point the ball and catch contested ball.
Or you just give TJ Hawkinson 130 targets next year.
I think he should get 130 targets next year.
That's what I've been saying ever since we drafted him, because it seems to me the last couple coordinators we have don't give him any more than like maybe a handful of targets a game.
A couple weeks ago, I was like, he better have 100 targets next year. He did last year, but that was mostly because Galladay was hurt. He wouldn't have got that many.
Yeah.
But
Right.
the thing is, like, you know, you spent that high of a pick on him. Go to him.
They just did a list of the top 101 free agents. Who's at the bottom of the list? Just
Oh, I
take a
just
guess.
saw it's Everson Griffin.
Yeah,
I just saw this earlier on NFL Network.
that cracks me up.
He was allegedly supposed to go back to Minnesota. He was,
Yeah, I mean, he said he wanted to.
So I mean,
Minnesota obviously doesn't want him though.
The Cowboys got that corner.
because
What's the dude's name? Kazee? Yeah,
Dante Kazi.
I don't know if he was actually any good or not.
He was a safety from Atlanta. In 2018, he led the whole league in interception.
Oh, wow, really?
Yep.
At
But-
safety?
He's coming off of an Achilles tendon injury. Right now, there is nobody that the Lions are interested in free agency, which tells me they're saving the money for injury purposes and the draft.
which is a
I mean,
smart
we're
move.
pretty much out of money.
No, we just restructured Goff.
Oh, I was going to say we got that money from Goff.
So we have right now, it says 21 million, but there's 3 contracts that aren't updated. By the time it's all said and done, we got 12 million. You set aside 3 million for injuries. That way you can sign practice squad players off of other teams.
Right.
That leaves
And
us with
hopefully
9
we
million
save-
for the draft.
we save some of that, at least enough to get like one, because there's always a guy either like at the beginning, in the middle, or at the end of preseason that's like a surprise cut that just ends up being like a last minute cap casualty.
Right.
I mean, Jesus, like we could use an upgrade of depth at just about any position.
Absolutely. So here's the thing. If we're
Did we
if we're
sign
picking
any
at
corners
7,
yet?
say what?
Did we sign any corners yet?
Not one. So I know we're drafting at least 1, if not 2.
So we have.
Would you
we have
guys look at
Akuda,
AJ
Big Amani,
Bouye?
and Mike Ford. That's it, right?
Yep.
Would you guys look,
Omari, Okuda, and Mike Ford.
We also only have 3 or 4 linebackers, right?
We only have 3 safeties. We have Will Harris. We
Sorry.
have Tracy Walker. And that bum that we signed off of Washington's practice squad for a future contract, Deion Hamilton or whatever.
We
Right. What about Harmon?
after
Are you
getting
still out
rid
there?
of after getting rid of Justin Coleman, we could use the slot corner also.
See, I think Justin didn't want to restructure is the only reason they got rid of him.
Oh yeah, they pretty much said
Because-
that.
He was 100% our best corner once they cut Trufant.
Yeah,
Experience wise, maybe not playing wise, but experience wise. But he would have gotten tremendously better just with the front 7 improving. And Andrew, as much as you like to
Yeah.
say it,
Probably, but I mean, he
Rockers-
stole
Rockers as a
paycheck.
D tackle is not a gap penetrating D tackle. 100%.
who
Coleman
is
stole paychecks for all but like 2 of those games that we had him.
who is a D tackle? Who did you say?
Brockers is our D. Brockers is not a gap penetrating D tackle. Ooh,
Oh yeah, I knew
in
that.
9 years he had 28 sacks. That is not a gap penetrating D tackle.
And don't they also say he's like not good against the run?
They said he's really good against the run. He struggles.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Not good against the pass.
He struggles against getting penetration. The only time he got penetration is when Aaron Donald switched to the other side of D tackle right next to him, and Donald would take on the double team, and
I
he'd
mean,
fall
we were
through to get a
god
sack.
awful in both, but were we worse against the run or the pass?
We were worse against the pass. We need a gap penetrator.
Yes. Especially if Glenn's gonna run that 4-3 defense. Need at
Well,
least one.
It's supposed to be a combined defense.
So like
which
what,
is
a multiple defensive front
going to
then?
be a multiple front. It's supposed to be 4-3 over, 3-4 under.
Okay.
So
All right,
we
so-
still need a gap penetrating DT to be the DT1 in the 4-3.
Well, we're not gonna get that in free agency, so I
No,
guess
because there isn't one. So we got to get it in the draft.
yes.
And everybody says that Christian Barrymore from Alabama is it. But I saw that when I told you what I thought after game film
Yeah.
from watching everything, it's exactly what it says in his scouting profile.
I like later on out of Pitt, that Jalen Twyman guy. He's a gap penetrator.
Yeah, and he's a combination defensive end D tackle that does get he gets most of his sacks at DN. He'd be another Michael Brockers.
Okay.
Honestly, I'd be cool with a bunch of those. I mean, we've already got Hand and Brockers.
Well, we got Hand that can't stay healthy. We got Austin Bryant that can't stay healthy. We got Julian Aquara, who's played one game
Yep.
an entire season. Romeo Aquara, with the exception of last year where he played 15 games, usually plays 10. Trey Flowers played all 16 games in 2019 to only play 7 this year.
So it's
We
like
have-
We need
We
so
need a
much.
mash unit to keep up with our defensive line.
right. Yeah, that is true.
From what I can tell, there's not. I mean, there's barely any, first round talent, DNs
there's-
or DTs, but
Right.
there's a bunch in the later rounds.
Now, Quiddy Pay kind of impressed me today because at
Yeah.
285
No,
pounds, running a
no,
4.5,
no,
340.
No Michigan D lineman or fucking O lineman.
Why not O lineman? They usually do pretty good.
Tell me one that was good besides Steve Hutchinson. Glasgow was good.
I was just saying, you just took the words out of my mouth. I was gonna go Glasgow immediately.
I forgot about Glasgow. He was good. We should have kept him. But
According
think we
Jeff Sackus started horrible and became better.
Yeah, like the last
John
few games.
Runyon,
no,
John
he
Runyon was
became
a
less
Pro Bowler and
terrible.
All Pro
He
for
also
Philly.
ruined Riley Rice.
Could you see us drafting Quiddy Pay?
In a trade back scenario,
top-
maybe, but
Like I said, there isn't a D end I would take in the top 10. You get me back in that 12 through 25 range, yeah, I might take one.
I think I would take that dude from Miami before I took Quiddy Pay.
He is actually the most raw talent at the end there is.
hey,
All
Dom,
he has is length and athleticism. He
Dom,
has
Dom,
almost no pass rush skill.
which dude from Miami you talking about though, Dom? Russo or
Russo.
Phillips?
Russo. The other guy
I
I
would
like too,
take-
but Russo I like because he's a freak athlete, and I don't necessarily mind. It's similar to like a Ziggy Ansah situation. He's raw.
That's why I
but
don't
he's
like
also
him.
a
Because
sponge to
unless he
learn.
blows by you with speed, he does not get a sack.
Yeah, I
Because
mean
he
that
does
could be a
not have a
problem.
swim
But
move, he doesn't have a bull rush, he doesn't have a spin. He has
He-
horrible
the
footwork.
glass half full side of that coin is he has no bad habit.
Which one of them, Russo or Phillips, with the bad
Russo.
footwork? Russo.
I think he was like a quarterback and a tight end in high school.
I heard on Russo, I heard a comparison to Ziggy Ansah due to his
There you go.
underdevelopment and stuff like that. So
There you
And
go.
I never liked
They said
Ansah.
it for
He
me.
had one good year.
So Ziggy Ansah. I'm not saying I want him at 7. It's like I keep saying, outside of a reach, we cannot go wrong. Whoever we take, even if it's a quarterback.
Unless it's broken ankle Waddle. That would be wrong.
Right. That to me represents a reach. I'm so interested to see where
Hey,
all
guys.
those wideouts end up going.
They're re-showing Zach Wilson's pro day.
He had a pretty
I
good
watched
pro
that-
day.
I watched that like 3 times today already.
I'm interested about that dude too. And that's the other thing. Like, it seems like it's just about all but a done deal that he goes to, right?
No,
No.
the Jets
Oh,
have
someone
not
trades
moved
up and
down
gets
to
him at
Sam
2?
Darnold, so they're probably going to go O-line unless, because the rumor is, according to NFL Total Access at 1:30 in the morning last night, Salah loves Micah Parsons.
Sweet. He's another guy on the list of take him so we don't.
Yeah.
If he went to that, to me at 2, that would be a what the fuck pick. Plus, yet again, literally anyone that goes, 6 or before that we didn't think would, that just increases our chances to get that alignment.
I still say if we have to take an O-lineman, if we don't do it in the first round, we have to do it in the second round. If we wait to the second round, then you're missing out on Jabril Cox.
Like I said,
I mean, I see a bunch of other names of O linemen going like, late first or early second. I
There's
hope
5
we get
of
the
them
right
that
one.
could go in the first. You got Sewell, Slater, Darisaw, Cosme,
I need to start scouting the other ones in
and
case.
Dylan Redun's out of North Dakota State.
I mean,
That's
as
the
far as
5
like
I've heard
talent
the
and
most
pro
out of.
potential, like let's say 3 through 6 or whatever. Like, are they all about on the same level?
Yeah, oh wait, I forgot. There's that center guard / tackle out of USC, Vera
Tucker, yeah.
Vera Tucker. Yep, Alejo Vera Tucker.
I mean, like some of those guys are going to go in the first round and probably shouldn't have necessarily, because it always happens when there's a run on position group. It happened last year with the wide receiver.
Did
Speaking of
Deontay Brown get hurt? The guard out of Alabama, Deontay Brown, did he get hurt?
I didn't hear anything about a Brown injury, so
Because he coming out when the draft, all the draft stuff after everything was done, the national championship was over. He was said to be the best guard in the draft. Remember?
yeah, I remember.
He hasn't given up a sack at Alabama in 2 years.
Like
And both
guard.
years they've been in the national championship.
Neither did Lakin Tomlinson.
That's at Duke. That's not at Alabama.
True. I wonder about like how far has that Alex Leatherwood dude slipped? I think into like the second round.
Alex Otherword, the
second
center.
round. He's projected
falling all the
second.
way to somewhere between 31 and 40.
Right, because when the first mocks came out, he was like top 5. I don't
Put it
trust
this way.
Alabama players.
They're ranking the tackle from Michigan ahead
Mayfield.
of Alex Underwood.
Yeah, I've seen that dude up there too. So wait,
Javonte Williams
the guard
is
from Alabama
ahead
is
of
supposed
him.
to be the
Jason
best one?
Oweh, Mac Jones. Here's another linebacker we could take in the early second, out of Kentucky, Jamin Davis.
Jamin.
Jamin Davis, Jamin.
If we take him, he better be jamming up lines and getting sacks for us. But
Wasn't there a couple of years ago? Wasn't there a sweet linebacker from Kentucky that we just missed on?
Wow. Rashad Bateman, because he ran a slow 40, has dropped all the way to the 46th prospect out of the top 50.
damn. And I heard Marvin Jones comparisons when it comes to Bateman. So
Yeah,
Bateman
guess
is pretty
what?
big, isn't he?
He's 6'2", 6'3". He's 220 pounds, but he ran a 4.75 40.
Yikes. I mean, he better have hands of glue.
maybe that's one of them situations where a 40 time doesn't translate to how he does on the field. I mean,
Right, because look at Cephas. The first half of the year, he looked slow, but once he got to game speed, he looked great the whole second half of the season.
yeah. I mean, some
What about
guys.
that guard from Ohio State?
The guard from Ohio State, that
Wyatt Davis.
I thought, I mean, it was a few months ago, but I've read stuff that he was like the best, if not the second best guard in the draft.
talking about Cody
And I
Mears.
mean,
Wyatt Davis.
I thought it was Cody Mears for some reason.
I always thought it was Wyatt Davis. At one point, he was like up there.
Yeah, he was
early
supposed
on
to
for the
be-
top guard, but
Right.
he dropped to the second round a bit. But
Yeah,
yeah,
he dropped a lot. It's coming up on guards right now for the top 5. Let me see what it says.
Player profile.
Leo Vera Tucker. Yeah, Wyatt Davis. That is it. Okay, Trace
Size and upside, white base.
and Landon Dickerson. That's another one too. The guard out of Oklahoma, Creed Humphrey. He interests me.
Zone blocking.
isn't he a center though? Or
Center/guard.
okay,
Centers can play guard, that's fine. Wait, do we zone block?
oh,
I don't
I'm
know what blocking scheme that Lynn runs, but it's Hank Fraley that coaches them. So I guess it doesn't matter. Aren't we kind of a zone blocking team now?
We kind of are, yeah.
Oh, they're talking about Quiddy Pay right now.
Your starter. I'm looking at it as, you know, if that dude's, if we can get him late in the second or early in the third, like, you know, I like the other guard we got from Ohio State a lot.
Jonah
Oh,
Jackson.
oh,
Yes,
Jonah Jackson's a beast. I want to see if they can finally get Stenberg on the field.
Oh, me too.
yeah. That's
He's
a guy. I've
He's
been
supposed to be White Larry Warford.
Actually, you know what he reminds me of? He's the offensive line version of Ndamukong Suh.
Yes, he is. I remember when we took him.
They said he was the dirtiest O lineman in the
Yeah.
draft.
Oh yeah, like super nasty Mean Street.
That's why I want to see him on the
Ooh.
field. You know, like,
Quiddy Pay was faster than I thought. 4.52.
Wow, that's pretty good.
At
I mean,
260 some odd pounds, that's huge.
if we trade back out of the top 10, then and they took him, then I would not complain.
Oh, he's fast, and guess what else he is, boys?
Versatile.
Well,
He did 36 reps on the bench press.
I saw that. I watched him do it today, and they're like the guys counting. Everyone's like, "Oh, like what the hell? Look at him go! He's good."
Oh, Quiddy Pay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The announcer was like, "Oh, he's going to be doing bench press reps, and the time allotment for this coverage is going to run out or whatever." It was freaking sweet, but
Decker. What I was trying to figure out, and I still haven't been able to figure out, because you know how they said, why do I keep forgetting his fucking first name? The tackle from Northwestern, Slater, Rashawn Slater.
Yeah.
He didn't play last year.
Nope.
hey, yo, be right back. I'm gonna use the restroom real quick.
But
He didn't
year
give up a
before-
sack the last year that he played, but I couldn't seem to figure out if he played right tackle or left tackle, because I'm like, okay, if he didn't play-
right tackle. He played right tackle and right guard. But he played right guard his freshman year, and his sophomore year he played right tackle. And his sophomore year, he gave up no sacks and only 5 pressures all season.
right, he was all over the place. Well, I was looking at the box score against Ohio State, and they got blown out. and Chase Young had a
Rashawn Slater can play anywhere on the O line, though. I was
He was
watching a
a center in high school, wasn't he?
Yeah, he could play. He had reps at center in his career at Northwestern. Also, he could play anywhere. So he intrigues me if he's there. That's why I was telling a buddy of mine if between
And
Sewell and him, flip a coin. You know, I mean,
By the way, Quiddy Pay did not sit out this year.
okay, well, that's. I didn't see much of. Maybe I'm forgetting, but I didn't see much of him at watching.
Yeah, why you didn't see him very much is because the other team's offense scored faster than their defense could line up.
That's right. That's a valid point there. So,
But he led the team in tackles for loss and sacks this year.
well, one thing I read about Quiddy Payne, like I told you before, originally I was down on him, but then when I read how he was used, I kind of changed my tune. I'm like, because they said he's better in a straight up hand in the dirt like DN position, and Michigan had him all out of place the past.
Oh yeah, they
couple
were
years
lining
or
him
whatever.
this last year. They lined him up at linebacker a lot. That's not him. He's not a stand-up DN. He's a 3-point stance guy.
Hand in the dirt guy. Daniel Jeremiah pointed out that he's due to his scouting report or whatever that he would really love to see him in that old Jim Schwartz wide 9 defense.
Fuck yeah, he'd have been a badass if you had him. Sue,
NFL comparison is Emmanuel Ogba.
Nice.
I don't know about all that.
I don't think we take him unless we trade back. Then maybe you can talk about maybe taking him, but
So who's going to be the idiot that drafts Caleb Farley over Patrick Surtain the second?
in the second, oh shit.
No. Caleb Farley over Patrick Surtain the second.
Oh, I don't know. I have no clue, man.
I see it happening because they're going to go off of the fact of how good he was before he was injured.
Well, as
Oh,
long
yeah, I
as
mean, there will be several what the fucks in like the middle and towards the end of the first round, like Henry
I think
Ruggs.
there's
last
gonna-
year.
This year, we're going to see if the all pro day thing works. If this works and there's less busts in the first round than there's been in the past, percentage wise, then guess what? This may be the wave of the future on how they do the draft from now on.
it could
Oh, like
be.
no more combine?
Yeah, no more combine.
That's shitty though, because like some of these smaller schools, they don't have fucking pro days. Or if they do, no one's there. But at the same time, like the
Well,
combine can be, you know, it'll artificially, you know,
The
raise
D2
some draft
and
stock,
D3
like
schools
fucking
will
Henry
finally
Ruggs or
have-
Darius Hayward Bay.
Right. Well, the D2 and D3 schools are finally having their national championship playoffs shown on ESPNU. Since ESPNU came out, we're getting more coverage for those lesser schools.
What they should do, especially if they're getting rid of the combine, I mean, it would have to be something that they did like on the collegiate level on their own, but do some sort of, you know, regional pro day or days where, you know,
You like whatever conference.
yeah, exactly.
And
Like have a
conference, all 8 teams, they're guys that could be the best from every team.
right,
Go
like
there.
have a
Okay.
2-day or a day and a half long, like, you know, MAC pro day.
Right. Well, the MAC, they have pro days. Matter of fact,
Oh yeah, they do. Well, I mean, yeah.
Dan Campbell was at Western Michigan.
Well, I mean, the MAC puts out some good players.
Oh yeah.
Do you
With
guys?
the exception of Dan Lefebvre.
Khalil Mack.
Can you guys possibly see Detroit addressing quarterback in the later rounds? Maybe.
God,
don't
I
think
hope
they do
so,
this
because
year.
there's a bunch of good ones.
I just don't think they do this year. We have too many needs to try and make a team that can contend.
That's a good point.
That's probably true. If they end up with some extra picks, maybe, or if someone drops way down that they didn't think would, like,
I
you
mean,
know,
like if
Trask.
Kyle Trask falls to the 3rd round and he's there with that 9th pick in the 3rd round that they have,
Fuck yeah.
yeah, you take him.
Fuck yeah. Or Kellen Mond in like the 4th or 5th round.
Yeah.
There's a lot of really good corners that are on that fringe of being in the front, and they just had like lack of playing time or whatever
Right.
that are there. I would rather take a risk on one of those corners than on one of those late round quarterbacks.
I mean, it's such a crapshoot anyways this year with, you know, teams that didn't play, guys that sat out.
You know what I
saying?
think would be hilarious is because Devontae Smith is doing his own pro day because his hand was still healing. He's going to do a private workout pro day later. He didn't want to risk re-injuring it.
Oh, he was the one that just like this week or whatever said that he wasn't gonna run a 40, wasn't gonna participate in drills, right? Was it him or what?
Yeah, that was him. Waddle, on the other hand, was hopping along like he still needed crutches on the sideline.
And yet teams still, and yet fans of the Lions want us to take Waddle was the 7th pick.
Oh, I know. I've seen that on the longest yard. Now I'm like, are you fucking daft?
I cannot imagine why.
And I keep repeating myself too. I tell him, I said, why would we want to take Waddle when he can't even stay healthy? And when I saw him limping on the field on his pro day.
And everybody goes, oh, he'll be fine.
Oh, what's
I
up,
mean,
buddy?
you're talking about, you know, what was their number
up,
one that
little
can't
buddy?
stay healthy, and then another guy that's a certified midget that was not a number one until the number one got hurt.
The only true number 1 receiver
There
I
he is.
see in the first
Hi, guy.
round.
What you doing, little dude?
Say hi to everybody.
What's up, little buddy?
Look at the puppy.
Hey, okay. Okay, I'll put you down.
So
Say hi, Dak.
Okay. Okay, you want back up again.
See the puppy?
Look at the doggy. Puppies.
I'm a puppy. Look,
Yeah, it's a puppy.
Not a puppy.
Yeah.
puppy had the ball.
Yeah, that's right. He's a little puppy.
I had the ball.
Yeah.
I had the ball.
Yes.
You had the
So
ball.
you got these two bums this year.
You can have the ball.
Yeah.
All right.
let me ask you guys a question. Do you guys see approximately if one of the 4 things happen at 7? If Chase falls to 7, if Pitts falls to 7, if Slater, if Sewell, if the Penn State linebacker, if any of them fall to 7, even if Chase falls to 7, do you think we could take him?
My top 2 choices at 7. I want either the 2 offensive tackles or Pitts if he's there. If not, I want us to trade back for picks.
My
Same.
order of importance for the people you name, I'm gonna do it right down the line, Andrew. And I've told you this before. It's Sewell, it's Slater, it's Pitts, it's Chase, or Parsons. In that order.
There.
If
I
anybody
agree with
else-
that, but
Is
I
it-
don't like if it's not one of those 3. I want to trade down.
and I'm on that boat too.
Guess it's still,
I
buddy.
just feel like that we, even though you guys don't agree, but it's in my opinion, of course. My opinion, we need a number one receiver. We don't truly have a one receiver. In my opinion, we have a bunch of twos, a bunch of threes, a couple of fours, and maybe a five.
We
Yeah.
have 2 twos, and the rest are 3s and 4s. I'm being God's honest right there. But guess what?
I'll go you one better than Justin Jefferson. 'Cause
Lions,
it's not a
yeah.
fair comparison. Jamar Chase better be fucking Odell Beckham.
When he was good.
Okay.
I'll go. Well, here's why I think Jamar Chase could be good is because despite he played alongside Terrence Marshall and Justin Jefferson, and who's the other guy they had then that came out last year?
No, Daniel.
I don't remember, but it was also like one of the most prolific offenses in college football history.
That's
Come on.
fine.
No,
But
LeBar.
as the third option, he won the Fred Biletnikoff for best wide receiver in 2019.
Want Daddy to get you a cookie?
So I'm looking at an article, granted it's from October of 2020, and it's ranking basically all of the Alabama receivers from the last handful of years. They say 6 is Calvin Ridley, 5 is Ruggs, which I don't agree with. Ruggs is the shittiest of them.
Yep.
4 is Devontae Smith, 3 is Judy, 2 is Amari Cooper, and 1 is Waddle. I guess they're not. Julio Jones is too far back.
Well, in October, Jalen Waddle would have been the best receiver. You know why?
Before he got hurt.
He in their mock 40s that they ran, that they reported about in preseason, he ran a 4.29.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah, but that was
I mean,
with
he's damn well better when he's that small.
right. He has to. 'Cause he's what, 5'10" and a $180.
My thing is, out of these last 2 years, I feel like Jerry Jeudy should be the best out of all of them by a lot.
He should have
Because
been.
Ruggs
But
is not
he
good.
went to a team that has Drew Lock.
Yeah, I mean, but that's the thing. If you're that good of a wideout, like you should be able to transcend that. DeAndre Hopkins did. Kenny Galladay did.
Well, here's the thing. Kenny Galladay had Matt Stafford throwing to him.
Right.
That's true. Good point.
But 2 years ago, he only had Stafford for
Drew
half the
Lock
season.
isn't accurate enough to make any wide receiver look good.
True. But Galladay also played half a season without Matt Stafford and still led the league in touchdown catches.
Because he already had 9 of them.
Wow, is that accurate?
I believe, or he had 8 or 9 by the time Matt Stafford went out.
Let me ask you guys a question.
I don't
All right.
think Calvin Ridley is any good.
Who is the most likely to fall to 7?
Oh.
I can't even tell you that because I don't know with the trades that are happening, the way things are moving around. Philly's no longer at 6, so they're not taking Pitts.
Can Miami take Pitts?
Miami.
Miami's taking
Good.
Waddle and Smith
At 6?
at 6.
Miami might pull in Arizona and pivot off Tua and take a quarterback again.
Yeah.
That's out there. That is a possibility.
Because I guess from what I hear, the players in the locker room, ever since they cut Fitzmagic, are just livid with Tua.
He doesn't do anything good.
Well, think about it.
Galladay had 4 touchdown
guy
catches
actually
after
said, "What do you
Stafford
mean?"
got hurt.
Tua
4.
didn't get hurt. I said, what do you mean he didn't get hurt? He hurt his hand in one game. Fitzmagic came in and won it. He won his first game he got in because he came in after they had a lead.
If you look at the games that Tua has started, he barely threw over 100 yards, and in some of the games he didn't even throw for 100 yards. It was
Yeah,
the
the
run
first
game and the defense
turn-
that won it for him.
The first
Oh, his numbers were
game,
terrible.
he was 14 of 29 with 89 yards,
Hmm.
1 touchdown and a pick.
I'm gonna go look at the game logs right now.
If I remember right, it was something god awful like that. He only had like 89 yards passing. It was one of his first games. If not, it was the first game.
Let me ask you guys this. We all heard the rumors about we could trade back. What do you guys think is the best possible trade down scenario for us?
Well, it's no longer San Francisco. I thought that was the best one. If Denver is looking to go athletic and they want to get Trey Lance, I like the idea of Denver. We're probably not getting another first round pick next year out of that, but I could say we could probably fleece them for a first, maybe a third and a fifth. That's on a best case scenario, but at least a first and a third.
Yeah.
It's whatever nets us the greatest number of picks.
Let me ask you a question. What if teams say that, okay, we can trade you this year, but we can't promise you a first round pick this year? Do you still do it?
No, we're not losing out on a first round pick this year, Andrew. That would just be the stupidest thing they ever did. Unless
Yeah.
they're going to give you, let's say they do, okay, we're going to give you next year's first round pick, the year after that first round pick. We have 2 picks in the second and a pick in the fourth.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if it's you can't take, if you can't get a round 1 pick this year, it's got to mean multiple picks next year and multiple picks this year.
Right. Like I said, maybe it's a team that already picked. Well, no, the only team that already picked that I could see trying to move up to 7 to get one of the wide receiving prospects or something like that. It's the Jaguars. They could
Or
trade up from 25
or the Patriots trying to get a quarterback.
or Patriots to get, but I'm talking about out of the ones that pick ahead of us.
Oh,
Want to know what I heard speaking of the Patriots?
Sure.
Yeah, they want to trade us the first pick this year, a 3rd round pick, Stephen Gilmore, and a 1st round pick next year. I would take that and run and then restructure Gilmore.
But you want to know who they want? You want to know which quarterback they're interested in?
Trey
Mac
Lance.
Jones.
No, they're interested in Justin Fields.
Ugh.
That doesn't fit Bill Belichick's scheme at all.
Actually, Bill Belichick's scheme is almost like a modified West Coast. It would fit. He has lots
I
of
don't
weird
think they want
crossing.
Gilmore. Gilmore's 30.
But as mentor wise, if he could restructure and clear up some cap room, fuck yeah.
Not sold on him as a mentor.
Well, considering he's less than a year ago, he was the best defensive corner in the league, but that was when they had all their studs on defense.
Yeah, he won Defensive Player of the Year, but that was bullshit. Like, if
I
he was
like,
that good, he never would have left Buffalo.
The trade back scenario I like, I've told you guys about this before, is the one that drops us down to 19 with Washington. That gives us a first, second, a third, and a first next year.
Sweet. Will they take Jared Goff too?
I don't know if they'll take Goff, but it gets us a lot of extra picks. So
We
I'd be
can't
okay
afford
with
to
it.
get rid of Goff anymore.
Yeah.
His
I
cap-
refuse
his
to give
dead
up
cap
on
this
that
year,
idea until
to
it doesn't
trade
happen.
to trade him now, his dead cap hit is $65 million.
Oh, for God's sakes.
Next year, it's $42 million.
Oh, good.
Okay.
Lord.
And
So
wow,
we
that's
have-
even
we
with the
have him for
restructuring,
2
eh?
years. We have him for 2 years.
That-
And then in the 3rd year, it drops to where it's only a 10 million dead cap hit with a $30 million cap hit. So we saved 20 million by trading them away in 2023. In 2024, it's only a 5 million dead
Yep.
cap hit.
Let me ask you a question, Jeremy, because I know you were concerned about this. Did restructuring him save the Rams 23 million?
Yes, that's why they have cap room now. Because once we restructured them, they were no longer on the hook for his signing bonus.
What's the best case scenario with Goff in 2 years, though?
He becomes good.
Best case scenario is, let's say we're mediocre, make the playoffs and bounce out because we don't have a good enough defense yet, both years. That means he's still okay. He's serviceable. He's throwing at 64 to 65% like he always has.
Right.
He's throwing for about 19 touchdowns and 12 picks.
If we can upgrade our O-line, I think that could happen. I think he could become a good serviceable QB, but in my
I think
opinion,
if we
that depends on if we can upgrade our O-line.
Plus,
So,
the thing is,
let's
if you
say-
think about it, 2 years from now, there will have been probably 4, 5, 6 other quarterbacks that have signed new deals. By then, his contract probably won't look that bad.
His contract doesn't look that bad now because it's only a 15 mil cap hit this year. That's what the restructure did. His
I
total
really
salary
wish
is
we would have just
17
traded the
million.
nothing that Indy did and got Carson Wentz.
Let's see.
Thanks.
I would have
Like-
never wanted Carson Wentz because that albatross of a contract is horrible. The only
It's not
reason
any
why
worse than Goff.
they could afford it.
It's not any worse than Goff.
I only
I want
think-
to ask you a question.
It's just it's expensive for more years. You can't tell me you wouldn't rather have Carson Wentz than Jared Goff.
No. His mechanics
Why?
are off. His deep ball is gone, and he is way in his own head and is fucked up with his decision making. The only coach that can probably fix him is Frank Reich.
That's probably true.
Let me ask you guys a question though. If we did take offense other than O-line, how would you guys feel about that? Would you guys be pissed? Would you guys be
Okay, Andrew, if one of those O linemen are there and we go wide receiver or tight end, I'm a Rams fan.
really?
What,
100%.
what if the tight end pick is Pitts?
I don't care. We need to protect fucking Goff.
I
Can't afford
agree.
for him to be Fumbleina. He has the tiniest hands of any starting quarterback in the NFL right now.
Yeah,
I feel like most of the teams above us that might consider a wide receiver or Pitts, like they've got to be smart enough to know to take Pitts other than those receivers too. Like I think Pitts will be gone probably.
I wouldn't doubt it.
So let's say, let's throw out this out here. Here's the monkey wrench in the whole thing, and this is when the trades will go galore. Just because of what I heard with Urban Meyer, he goes stupid and drafts Justin Fields.
I can see it.
I thought he might do that since he was hired as their coach.
Same.
Right.
This
He's
is
the one
the
who
whole.
recruited Justin Fields to Ohio State. He was in an interview and he literally said, I am enamored with picking Trevor Lawrence, but I know the quarterback I have in Justin Fields.
The thing about that is though, like you can trade down at least a few slots and still get Fields
Absolutely.
because the Jets have a ton of picks. Wow, that could be the what the fuck. I mean, who saw Baker Mayfield going first?
Yeah.
And you got to admit, even though his second year was Shapoopoo, his third year was pretty good.
So
Baker?
Yeah.
if Jacksonville takes Fields, do you think the Jets would jump all over Trevor Lawrence at 2, or do they trade out?
Oh,
I think-
they would have to.
Yeah.
They either have to
That's what I'm
take
thinking.
Lawrence or they have to fleece somebody. And I mean fleece somebody. I'm talking,
Who else has a ton of fucking picks? Miami still does, right?
what's that?
Miami has a ton of picks, right?
Jackson.
Yeah, they have the most picks in the next 2 years. They got rid of a few to move back up to 6. The most picks in this draft is Jacksonville.
I mean, I feel like literally any team that's even considering taking a quarterback, and even a bunch of teams that wouldn't necessarily, like, if Fields went first, like without Jacksonville moving, the Jets could literally name their price.
See, and that's why I think the Lions should pull the trigger and make that trade right now with the Jets.
Hell, fuck, I would give them our first next year and those 2 other ones that we got for Goff. I get
Right,
Sunshine.
I'm saying I would give up those 2 first that we got for Goff and throw in the extra third this year because it's a compensatory pick anyways.
But wait, like, is Goff part of that trade? No.
No. We keep Goff. I'm saying the 2 picks we got for Goff in the next 2 years, plus the
But
third
do you really
round.
draft Sunshine and then not let him start?
The picks that we got for Goff is what I'm trading. The
Right.
2022 and the 2023.
Right.
I'm also throwing the 7th and the 3rd that we got for Goff for Stafford this year too. We're keeping the rest of our picks. We're trading up the 2 is what I'm talking about. We're getting rid of all the extra picks from this year and
I
next.
mean, yeah, whatever it takes.
And you get to the 2, and let's say Jacksonville does that bonehead move. Do you stay there and pick Lawrence, or do you fleece somebody?
Oh, you mean after trading up?
Yeah,
Trade up and then trade back down for even more?
yeah.
I mean, I would.
Yes. Please.
But I feel like someone else would offer them more off rips.
I'm saying if we do it before the draft even happens, we do it now.
Fuck that. He's there. You can't not take fucking Sunshine.
Right. What I'm saying is you either fleece somebody or you take Sunshine. It's a win-win.
I'm fleecing
You see
somebody.
the other day about Denver trading up and then taking like fucking Mac Jones. And I laughed because I'm like, oh, what's that? John Elway reaching at a quarterback again?
I'm gonna laugh if the Jets take Micah Parsons at 2 and Mac Jones gets taken at 3. That's gonna be like
Yeah. Because then you're going to see the phones ring off the hook for Atlanta,
Yep.
and they will get the big trade because Zach Wilson will be right there. Oh my God, I just realized, you know who Zach Wilson looks like?
Stafford.
No, Zach Efron.
Oh, God.
Zach Wilson looks like a douche to me, but I mean,
Yeah, like I said, Zach Efron.
yeah.
Let me ask you a question, because I've been seeing a lot of mocks to where they have us taking broken ankle Waddle, and they have Slater going
Did
to
the
the
Jets have
Broncos.
multiple firsts this year as well?
I don't
I
think they
think
did.
any analyst that puts Waddle in the top 10 must have bumped their goddamn head.
Well, there's a
Well,
lot of
yeah.
analysts that are doing it.
He's gonna
Like
go
I
in the top 10. Hopefully not top. Did the Jets have more than one first round pick this year?
Yes. They pick again. I think it's either 18 or 23, something like that.
Because if they take a quarterback, you would think at that point they would try to move Darnold probably to Washington, take their pick, which gives them.
Washington's going to want to move up to get a quarterback because of who they signed as their starter this year.
I would just try to pawn off Sam Darnold on them. Like if you could get a first round pick back for Sam Darnold, that's the thing. Like they've got some pretty good weapons. Their O line is good. Their defense is really good.
I think no matter who it's with, I think Washington's going to try like hell to move up because from the way it's looking, they're like a quarterback away from being playoff contenders. So,
And I don't care what anybody says. You remember when the rumor first came out right at the end of the regular season and somebody said Stafford's going to get traded?
yeah.
Do you remember what I told them? I said they won't get traded unless they're getting a player, 2 firsts, and a third.
And that's exactly what happened with us too. So when we got
Washington supposedly was one of those teams that was trying to give us a player and, not multiple first round picks.
And
They've got
now
all
they
those
took
fucking D
that.
linemen.
Now the hypothetical offer from the guy that writes for the Washington Redskins in the Post, he said, I think they need to move up to 7 to get a hold of the Panthers to get Trey Lance, and they could give up this year's first, this year's second, this year's fourth, and next year's first.
Right. And I think that move is still in play with a lot of those same teams that didn't get a quarterback.
Right.
Denver, Washington. Like, oh, yes, Denver, won't you please give me Jerry Jeudy and your pick for our pick?
Hey, you know who else might still want to move up so they might have a chance at Pitts?
Who?
Philly.
Yeah,
I
probably.
heard they wanted Zach Wilson.
Who,
I heard
Philly?
that the other day, too. That would be the dumbest thing they could ever do.
Yeah.
Philly wanted Zach Wilson. They wanted to trade up at 3, but they couldn't do it.
If
Apparently,
they
they already forgot what they did to Carson Wentz by drafting a quarterback.
Evidently.
No, they're going to take one of those receivers, probably. Wait, they slid down to 12?
Philly is out of the quarterback market because they signed Joe Flacco to back up Hurts.
Oh, yeah, that's right. They're down at 12. They'll get one of those receivers, whichever one's left, or they'll
I'm
reach
saying-
at the 4th one.
What they need to do is replace Ertz now, their tight end. They're not going to get Pitts at 12.
No, definitely not.
So
So I
we
would
could
like
take Pitts
that.
if he's there
I'm
at
trading
7.
up
My buddy's
Oh.
a Eagles fan, wants them to take one of those corners, like Surtain if he's still there, but not Farley.
Yeah, Farley's done.
Let me ask you, okay, Jeremy, and this is a hypothetical, because I've seen a mock that has us taking Jalen Waddle and Slater Falls.
I know, and I already said that analyst that you've seen that mock from, and it's been 2 mocks out of 38 of them that have us taking Jalen Waddle. Not a lot of them. It's 2. Those analysts have bumped their goddamn head.
Yeah,
One of
I
them,
haven't seen that many with Waddle either. Quite a few with Chase. Smith, I've actually seen like way back, like early ones and more recent ones. Like I think Mel Kiper still had us taking him.
yeah. And I don't think they're taking into account the free agent market and what we signed, because I truthfully don't think taking a wide receiver in the first round is what we need to do.
Definitely not.
especially
Definitely
with how
not.
deep this draft is at wide receiver. Hell no.
I mean, I would be happy even if they took a flyer and grabbed Amon-Ra St. Brown, even though he's slow as shit. He can high point the ball. He'd be the next Kenny Galladay. He's
There's
a
just
6'5".
there's way too much talent, and we need way too many other things, like priority wise, ahead of wide receiver. Like I've been saying, it would be different if any of these receivers were the next Calvin Johnson or Julio Jones
Or DK Metcalf.
or AJ Green or anyone that was goddamn 6'1"
Because for the
or
first 9
above.
years, he was fantastic.
This is
My
what
guy
I can see happening.
My guy for wide receiver that I want, that y'all know, second,
Is,
third round, is Dwayne Eskridge. That guy is.
Eskridge.
I've seen him falling lately.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, if he slips to the third round with one of them third round picks,
But the thing is he originally was only going to be a 5th round pick because he was out of the MAC. Then he showed
Right.
out at the Senior Bowl and he jumped way up. Well, lately, I haven't seen him in 3rd and 4th rounds again.
well, okay. So then if we wait to take a receiver and Eskridge is there and we take him, I'd be happy as shit. That
I
guy's
liked him
fast.
more before we started signing guys. Like speed, we pretty much already have covered.
Right.
That's
I
a
like
valid
that.
point.
Same with Rondale Moore.
I like that mid-range speed of Nico Collins that can high point the ball, has a great vertical, as well
I'd
as
be-
enough speed to get a little separation.
Hell,
I
I'd
want
be
someone
happy-
with hands of glue because Harriman's got bad hands. Tyrell Williams, who knows? And then outside of that, like we need that possession receiver, chain mover.
I'd be happy with a Nico Collins also, or
Nico Collins, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Sage Surratt, big-bodied, quick, not super fast. That's what I'm talking about.
Sage Surratt.
Yeah,
is
Even
pretty
though-
good, too. I
That
watched
dude
his,
from Minnesota. And how big is that Florida wideout?
Kadarius Toney. I keep
Yeah.
forgetting about that guy. He's fast too. Maybe
Yeah,
6'2".
but he's slated to be a late first, early second.
even though you guys really don't expect us to take a wide receiver in the first, what if they do though? I mean, nobody knows what you're gonna do. Hell, I don't know.
Well, Andrew, that's because we know you want Jamar Chase. You've made it
course.
abundantly clear. You want Jamar Chase.
Wait a minute, though. Wait a minute. Think about this. Didn't Bob Quinn make a couple good signings and trades before his first draft?
Yes.
I trusted him too much, too early, and I'm starting to think maybe the same thing about Brad Holmes.
Hmm.
I'm worried about that easy button thing. Like it'd be different if
Grabbing
Like
the wide receiver at 7 would be pressing the easy button.
right, and it would be different if there was, you know, a 100% consensus on the order of these wide receivers, you know?
I get the easy button thing, and I agree for the most part. The only wide receiver type I would be really okay with at 7 would be Pitts.
Yeah,
But I'm really pushing if we stay at 7 that we take one of those offensive tackles if we stay there. But
Yeah,
for sure.
absolutely.
Yeah,
The
100%.
trenches are what win Super Bowls. The trenches
that's
are
the
what
thing,
win
like-
games.
I'm also just sick
Pitt
and tired of
stands out
seeing
to
our
me
quarterback.
more than any of those wide receivers.
Right, and I'm sick and tired of seeing our quarterbacks getting beat up and their asses kicked behind an average at best O line. You know, I
And
want us
that's
to
the other
improve.
thing. We
that.
are, you know, depending on what could happen with Vitae or Stenberg if he does something, we're one really stud starter away from having a really good, really young O line.
Yes.
Like
So
the
that
left
same
side is amazing. And you know why I like Jonah Jackson? Because I never heard his name all fucking year.
Nope.
Never heard his name.
That's the other thing. He only allowed 1 sack and he gave up no penalties.
That's
Right.
why that's why Dom, I agree with you that when you said that you think that Jackson made Decker look better. And now that I'm thinking about it, I'm thinking if we could get a better right guard than Big V, maybe he makes our next right tackle.
He
look
did,
better.
much like Decker looked really good when Glasgow was on that side.
He
But
also
then-
looked really good when Warford was on that side.
Wagner was so terrible they had to move Glasgow over to the other side.
Oh,
And
fuck
then
with
Wagner
Wagner.
looks
Decker's
serviceable.
level of play like fell off, and then he got hurt when Dick fuck was over there. Wiggins.
Yeah.
Why have I still not heard a goddamn thing about Warford? Like, did he retire?
That's bugging the crap out of you, isn't it, Dom?
Yeah. I literally have not heard a single thing about him whatsoever.
About who? Some audio cut out real quick, but
Warford.
Warford.
I
Is
think he
Warford-
retired. I haven't heard his name in 2 years.
is he a free agent still? Or
Yes.
Yes, he opted out last year. He's still only 29.
I wonder
And he-
if our new regime even knows he's still free or whatever. Like,
Well, you know what he hasn't done since he left Detroit?
What's that?
Missed the Pro Bowl.
Yeah, he hasn't missed the Pro Bowl until this year because he sat out.
Depending on what he wants, if we decided to kick the tires on him yet again, I wouldn't complain.
Hell, I'd be happy with Rob Sims again compared to what we got now.
Yeah,
I like Red.
fucking Rob Sims.
Hey, he
Didn't
actually,
Damian Woody play guard for us for a minute as well?
yeah, he did. He was opposite Larry Warford. Larry Warford was the left guard and he was the right guard.
I
do you
mean,
think I
TJ
could
Lang
see
made a
happen?
Pro Bowl with us.
I could see us drafting an offensive lineman at 7. I could see us drafting a wide receiver. I could see us potentially drafting Pitts, or I could see us drafting Parsons. Or I
And-
could see us trading back.
I'd love the trade backs feature. You get us into that 12th through 19th spot, you could take Christian Darrisaw or Samuel Cosme.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, those are probably the only 4 scenarios.
I on top of what Jeremy just said, I heard on NFL Network they were semi hyping up Darrishaw's stock also, so he's potentially a little bit on the rise. So
Unless one of those quarterbacks slips. Like, what if Trey Lance
Anybody
is there?
see-
Take him or no?
anybody see- Did anybody see what Jacoby Stevens ran in the 40 yet?
I
know
did
it's
not.
his pro day.
I missed that one, but
If Trey
I would
Lance
like-
is there, do you take him?
Where?
At 7.
At 7? I would think about it just because when they said they went to his pro day, he's way less raw than everybody thought he was. He has excellent mobility. He has a gear like Lamar Jackson and he has an arm. They're
Like
saying
Mahomes or Josh Allen.
like Josh Allen. That's who they
The
compare his
comparison
arm
I
to.
heard is Josh Allen.
Yep.
Here's the
Josh
conversation
Allen
that
for
people are
arm
ready to
and
have.
Lamar Jackson for
Josh
mobility.
Allen is actually better than Patrick Mahomes.
I guess I'm partial to Patrick Mahomes because every time I hear him talk, I hear them praise him for the same things that all those
Oh,
analysts
you're a big Kermit the Frog
write
fan?
about Stafford about.
Well, here's what Patrick Mahomes has. Arguably the best offensive mind in the NFL in the last 30 years.
Yep.
He got to sit for what, a season and a half?
A season. One
He's
season.
a better O-line, a better defense. Like Josh Allen is actually more athletic than Patrick Mahomes. He's also bigger. It's a wash on arm strength. They can both throw it a mile. I would rather have Josh Allen, personally.
Follow the dogs in real quick. Get in there. Go,
Well,
Sandra. Big squirrel. Get in the house.
it's
Go.
I mean, we can all say what we think or what we want the Lions to do, but at the end of the day, it's like we really don't know. I mean,
Well, I was
I
gonna
mean-
say, what's our potential what the fuck pick? Another corner?
Yeah,
probably
Safety.
that's what I would say.
that
Safety.
that
I
is
mean-
the one I will rage so hard.
Whether
we
we
do.
like it or not, it's either one of those wide receivers, Pitts, Trey
Parson.
Lance, Slater. Oh yeah, Parson. So I guess 5 things, or trade down. Yeah, the what the fuck would be the corner, right?
Yeah, the what the fuck would
Yeah.
be the corner or any tight end not named Pitts.
Or someone that we didn't think of whatsoever.
and that could happen. That's a Detroit thing to do. We always think we're gonna do this, and then we go somewhere else.
Fuck it. Take the one-legged kicker out of Montana State.
Fuck it.
So,
Hey, if the Raiders could do it, so why can't the Lions?
Who?
I don't think like the worst possible scenario there is who do we want less, Waddle or Devontae Smith?
Waddle.
Waddle.
Waddle for
Waddle.
sure.
Waddle 100%.
Waddle is like my 100th 250th player that I want.
I'll do you one better than that. There's 277 picks in the modern draft. He's my 278th player.
That's better.
Who else could they just blow it on? Like someone that's down in the teens.
Oh God.
What if we reach
Pay,
for that
pay,
third O
pay.
lineman?
Pay. They could
No,
blow
I
it
would
on
not-
pay.
To me, that's not that much of a reach though, because Darrisaw's not that far off from Sewell and Slater.
Oh, so you want another O lineman?
I want
Okay, maybe not a
Darrisaw.
reach, a stretch. You want another O lineman that won't make a Pro Bowl?
Who's to say he won't
This
make
is a
the Pro
tough
Bowl?
situation because we all like
Who's to say Sewell and Slater will make the Pro Bowl? What if they're the next what's his name from fucking Alabama that got hurt after 4 weeks for the Giants, Jonah Williams?
It's possible. I haven't heard, and maybe the drop off is not as big as I think it is, but I haven't heard
There are
that
5
much
first
about,
rounders.
you know, the third O lineman being anywhere near as good as Sewell
Right.
or
You want-
Slater.
Sewell and
you
Slater
want to know
are
what would be the
hands
what
down the
the
best two.
you want to know what would be the what the fuck pick if we take Waddle at 7?
No,
Because that would
there's
be the
one
worst
more.
what the fuck pick at.
There's one more. Just
Field. Field.
Oh yeah. But I'm just saying, like, Waddle
Fields
would be
and
the
Waddle
most
is
what the
1A,
fuck
1B
pick
for that what the fuck pick right
So
there.
that's the thing though, like think about all these names starting to add up. Like there's a lot of guys that we're hoping get picked. Like one or more of them are going to be there.
and we could take one of them.
I know. I'm terrified.
If
And
you
you wanna
guys
know
hear
what's-
me sounding
wanna
like
know
I'm
what's-
getting laid, I'm using the massage chair.
You want to know what's worse, Tom? The more I think about it, the more I am starting to think that we take Parsons at 7 if he's there.
But I mean, as opposed to any of those wide receivers, that's not that bad.
Nope.
But I also think that if
'Cause
like
that's
if
what we were saying
Chase is,
before. You might not have been on the call, Andrew, but like if we, I mean, obviously we're not trading down to 12 now, or maybe we do because Philly wants to move back up. We took Parsons at 12. I might be okay with that.
Yes, I agree too.
but here's the thing. You don't know because what if, even though we think that the Bengals take Chase, I mean, just because the quarterback for the Bengals wants Jamar Chase doesn't mean that they're gonna do it. I mean, the organization could say,
The
"Listen,
Bengals are dumb as hell if they don't take an O lineman.
Hey, how about this?
I said that too."
How about this for a what the fuck pick? What if Michigan trades back for extra picks and that tackle Darrisaw is there, but they reach and take Mayfield out of Michigan?
You said Michigan.
I knew what you meant.
Yeah. You got the third. We trade back. You got the third best tackle there in Darrisaw, and they reach and they take Jalen Mayfield out of Michigan. That'd be a what the fuck pick to me.
That'd be bad, but I mean, like I said, like the difference between the third and fourth O lineman is probably not that great.
Yeah, but
I mean,
I
hey,
would be.
no,
I would
I'm-
say what the fuck to that though. I mean, that's
And I said
To
this
me-
last year before the draft. If you end up in a run in a position group on a particular position, be in the middle of it, not at the end of it.
to me,
Right.
Like some team that thought they were going to get one of those top 3 guys, and then the last one go, like whoever it is, someone down in the mid-teens that thought, you know, Devontae Smith or somebody was going to drop to them, and they go the pick before them, they'll be the ones that reach for that fourth guy. It happened last year with O linemen and wide receivers. Didn't Henry Ruggs go in the top 10?
Yes, he did.
Yeah, to the Raiders.
That was fucking awful. Only the Raiders not learn their lesson from Darius Hayward Bay and then take Henry Ruggs.
Hey,
Yeah.
Dom,
Yeah.
you wanna know what would be the worst what the fuck pick ever? If we took Quiddy Pay at 7.
There's no way he goes that high.
You never
No
know.
way.
No way. And it
But
still would not be as bad as taking Charles Rogers second overall.
But I also think that the most what the fuck pick, in my opinion, would be Jalen Waddles at 7, because we know his injury history. We know how good he's gonna be, and that's not good. And if we
I
still
mean, he
take
might
him
be
at
good.
7,
You know, sometimes guys get hurt in college and shake it off. It's just not a smart pick for us whatsoever.
Considering our luck with using high draft picks and guys with
Okay, well, all right. Let's think about this. Since more than anything else, outside of the O lineman, because we don't really want Pitts there. We just want him as opposed to the wide receivers, right?
Yeah. Yes.
well, okay, if,
Same deal with Parsons. How far would we have to trade down to be comfortable with taking one of those wide receivers? Around the
wouldn't be
same
hard.
place, the
I'd
team?
be happy at 9. I'd be happy at 12. I'd be happy at 15.
Ew, no. I mean, I'll take Chase at 9.
he's
I
not
don't
gonna
think
be
Chase is
fine.
gonna get down there.
Probably not. I don't.
If let me tell you something, Dom. If Jamar Chase was there at 7, I guarantee we take him. We can't pass on him because he would be. He's at
We can.
Fries at 7.
We can if one of those top offensive tackles is there.
What if we take Chase and we pass on the lineman though? You never think about that.
They might or could do that, but I don't know. I wouldn't recommend it. So I mean, that's
I mean, without Goff being protected, it doesn't matter who he's throwing to, Andrew. That's the point.
I mean, no, I understand, but I'm saying this is Detroit we're talking about, where you say we don't take a wide receiver and then we do.
Also basing this off of past regimes that have no track record of drafting all pros and pro bowlers.
Okay.
Here's
I
what
understand.
jumps out about Jamar Chase. He lacks great size and athletic ability. He was always in the most talented and well-designed offense in the country.
Yep.
Lacks
That's
upper
true.
tier athletic ability.
that's accurate.
The thing that's bothering me is I'm not seeing the pro comparisons like I was. Like, I want to see what his pro comp is.
I heard it was Steve Smith.
I heard that it
He's
was
bigger than Steve Smith, though.
They were comparing Devonta Smith from Alabama to Marvin Harrison.
That's
No
interesting.
way.
But who knows about Marvin Harrison? He played with a Hall of Fame quarterback his whole career.
True. That's a good point.
I mean, it's apparently from what I'm reading.
What if-
I have
Chase has
a
really good hands.
hypothetical. Who here thinks that Andrew Luck was a better quarterback than Matthew Stafford?
ooh.
Hard to say.
Hard to
Opposed
say,
to
'cause
what?
Due to the teams that they ended up with, I mean,
I say
I'm
yes.
just talking about apples to apples, just quarterback play.
I think
I say-
Stafford
I
was
say
better
yes.
than Luck. I think
Believe it or
Luck,
not, if Luck could have played as long as Stafford, they'd have almost the exact same completion percentage, QBR, and touchdowns.
I think
one,
Luck is better.
okay.
He was a 65.2 completion percentage. His QBR overall was just under 90.
The one thing Luck had that Stafford never really had is he had better weapons around him.
No, he didn't.
No,
You
No, he
think
didn't.
Stafford had
How can you
better?
say that? Name the top four wide receivers that Matt Stafford has had in his career.
No, I said that the thing that made it
Alvin,
look so
Golden
good.
Tate.
I'm saying that the thing that made
Nate
luck so
Burleson.
good.
I don't know. Galladay and I don't know.
Marvin
I'm saying-
Jones, Nate Burleson.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, not Burleson. It's Calvin, Golden Tate, Marvin Jones, and Galladay.
But I'm saying that what made Andrew Luck so good is the weapons he had around him. That's what I'm saying.
No.
The one thing that I like,
Marvin
Stafford,
Harrison was already retired, was he not?
pretty sure he
Marvin
was.
Harrison was not there with Andrew Luck. It was Reggie Wayne.
So he got the tail end of Reggie Wayne,
Yep.
You
T.Y.
got
Hilton, who's really
yeah.
not that good. I mean, they're very similar. Andrew
They got
Luck was
Doyle.
either a little bit better athlete or he was just willing to scramble more.
Doyle.
He was just willing to scramble more. He really wasn't that fast. As a matter of fact, his 40 time was almost 0.2 of a second slower than Stafford's.
The one
I would say
thing that I like,
Stafford had a slightly stronger arm. Neither one was pinpoint accuracy. And I mean, outside of that, I mean, they're real similar.
the
Yeah.
one thing that I like about Stafford over Luck is toughness and guts. Like
Yeah.
Stafford, we all saw will fight and bust his ass to play through an injury, where Andrew
True.
Luck will just like sit there.
I think if you swap the franchises they played for, I think Stafford could have done just as well if he's on that Colts team.
He probably
If not
would have done
better.
better. Jinx.
I don't know about all that. When's the last time you took a nice little gander at what
Well,
what
I
Andrew
know
Luck did
that I
as a
just
pro.
looked at that after last season. It was before this season. And he goes, you guys, because it said there was that one time where the Detroit fans wanted to make the trade for Andrew Luck because it was at the point where he was going to restructure or renew his contract with the Colts just the year before he retired. And they said, if you actually look at it, Matt Stafford is just as good, if not better, a quarterback than Andrew Luck.
Andrew Luck went 11-5, 11-5, 11-5 his first 3 years. Basically what it was, the Colts defense was not as terrible as ours.
Yeah.
That's really the only difference. Like I said, that like all the measurables and like talent, Stafford probably had a slightly stronger arm. It's about a wash in athleticism. Neither one was pinpoint accurate. You know what the funny thing is?
What?
The year before both of them were drafted, the Polish Rocket got starts for both of those teams. But Orlovsky got 1, maybe 2 wins before the year before Luck got drafted, whereas he could not win a game for us.
Right. The Polish Rocket.
The other thing that's crazy is
Just right.
Luck retired. Like they finally put that, like they finally got an O-line and finally made their defense better.
And then Andrew Luck got that serious injury and just said, fuck it, I'm done.
I get it. I would guess that they're, I don't know, maybe Stafford is better. I'd love to see them swap franchises because their O-line was better. It had to have been because ours was terrible. Their defense was
Ours
better.
isn't that bad.
I don't know about all that, but
You're wrong.
okay.
Our O-line isn't
2014,
terrible.
we both made the playoffs. Who had the better year? Luck. Probably pretty similar.
Yeah. They were very similar.
61%, 4,700 yards, 40 TDs, 16 picks. What about John? What did I just say? Our defense was better that year.
4,700 yards.
4,200 yards, 60%. He only had 22 touchdowns and 12 picks. We didn't have any sort of run game that year, did we?
Not
Talking about
really.
2014? Are you talking about
Um,
2014?
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
we
that
sure
was the year
did.
Reggie Bush ran for 1,000 yards.
It was not. It must have been the following year. Reggie Bush got hurt that year. Only played 11
It was
games.
2013.
Joique Bell led the team with 860. Who was our
It was
receiver?
2013
Golden
last time we
Tate.
had a decent running game.
I'll tell you what, though. I bet you if Andrew Luck was our quarterback that year, I bet he would have got us more than 3 points in the second half against Dallas.
Yeah, we'd have had more than 3 points in that second half, too.
People want to, maybe we got 6 at the most. People want to blame that on the flag. Like, yeah, that was a momentum shift, but
That
you didn't play well enough in the second
that
half.
took away a field goal. 100%, it took away at least a field goal, which would have had us up by 8 points. That had
Even
changed
though-
that game.
Even though in free agency we signed Jamal Williams away from the Packers, would you guys mind, or what would you guys' thoughts be if they decided in the late rounds to take another running back, a third?
I would
running
not be. I would not be upset by that.
Oh, they need to. Because I don't think, I mean, who else is on the roster, and B, who else is on the roster that they're actually going to keep outside of Swift, and
Williams. Maybe
Carry
carry on.
gone.
Maybe carry on.
No, what for? The only reason he got snaps last year was because Swift sucks in pass blocking.
Yeah.
I was so happy when I found out Jamal Williams is a fucking sweet pass blocker.
Heck yeah.
Are you falling asleep, Jeremy?
No, I'm using the massage chair.
Do we even have a third running back on the roster right now? Carry on, but he's gone.
He's not necessarily gone.
There's absolutely no reason to re-sign him.
I think he's on the last. I think he's on a 1-year deal, like the last year of a deal or something.
Yeah, or like it was an option or something. The only reason,
Last year
the
it
only
was
way he
rookie
stays
deal.
or maybe gets brought back is if Swift or Williams gets hurt. I really don't think there's another running back on the roster. Is there?
No, there isn't.
No,
I don't think so. No.
we cut everybody last year.
I
like
could
that.
see us going the Oklahoma running back in the later rounds.
Stevenson,
Cuba Hubbard or Ramondre.
Stevenson.
Ramondre.
That's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
The fuck old is this shit? It still says fucking Bo Scarborough. Did we bring him back?
No, he's on Seattle, I think, or something like that. No, but
ESPN never updates their shit.
How about NFL.com?
But
You guys didn't hear me say when I start this, if you hear me moan like I'm having sex, don't mind me.
you know
Oh,
we
that's
are live, right? You know we're recording.
Yeah, I know. I was joking.
I mean, unless you wanna make a porn film, then I mean, hey.
Hey, I almost shaved all this off and went with the 70s porn stash.
no,
I could
kidding.
see
Get out of the way.
I'm bringing back the Ron Jeremy look.
Jeremy,
Kelly.
I think we still need a fullback, don't we?
No, not really.
No,
We have
we got
Quaban.
Kabinda.
Yeah, Kabinda.
Kabinda, and who's that one guy, unless we cut him, that was always hurt?
Nick Baldwin.
We cut Nick
Baldwin.
Baldwin. Thank
Baldwin.
God.
Okay, he's gone then, so it's Kabinda for now, I guess. So,
I
That
wish,
dude's a-
I
so
wish
we
we
have a
drafted
second.
the fullback out of Michigan at the last pick.
yeah, Big Ben Mason.
We
Yep.
could.
Mr. Irrelevant. So again, because the fullback that we actually drafted couldn't stay healthy, we have our second in a row special teams linebacker converted to fullback.
Yup. That's how it looks right now.
I think the first one was on Seattle too, like made a play on special teams or Nick Ballore.
Yeah, I remember him.
We don't
You want to
have
know
that,
who else?
we don't have that power running back to even have a fucking fullback though.
Who else is trying to think what Detroit might do, in the draft? Because I've been thinking about this a long time.
I'm hoping we trade back. I want more picks.
We need more picks.
But like I said, unless something stupid happens in front of us, the trade back scenario thing might not work.
Might not.
Something stupid
And
is
it's-
going to happen in front of us. It's
It
just,
is.
will it benefit us or not?
I'm just
Right.
hoping. I'm hoping something happens to where we can trade back, but I get what you're saying. If something stupid happens, it might not. So
What if the Lions don't want to trade back like last year?
I think we wanted to trade back last year as well. We just were asking for too much.
that's what it was. That's Quinn's fault. So
But what if Brad Holmes is thinking, okay, I might trade back, but it depends on who's there at 7 and who I have on my board, and if it equals to, and it
Well-
makes sense for me to take them.
I know based on his history with the Rams that trading back is probably on his mind because you got to remember when's the last time the Rams had a first round pick?
Right.
He's probably
Brad
thinking
Holmes
it at
wouldn't
least.
know what to do with the first round pick anyways.
Exactly. So I mean,
Look at
I
last.
think trading back is at least in the plans. I don't know if they do it, but I wouldn't doubt that he's thinking it.
I could see us trading back. I
I
wouldn't
mean,
be,
for not trading back, I'm looking at the draft last year, and as bad as that Akuda pick looks now, like I'm glad we didn't take Andrew Thomas or Tua. Herbert, I would like. Derek Brown, probably. Isaiah Simmons, don't know. Hard to say.
when you said Derek Brown, I heard Jeremy say,
Yeah.
I know
he was
how
the
he
guy I
feels
saw
about-
mocked to us. Then I saw him fall like a lot leading up to the draft.
I know how
Well-
Jeremy feels about Brownie.
If Bob Quinn wasn't such a greedy prick and didn't ask for too much, we could have traded back a couple
And still
spots,
had-
maybe 3, and still picked Okuda if that was their guy.
Or grab Simmons.
So, yeah, that too. Either one of those, based off of how the draft played out, you could have got either one of those guys trading back.
I'm just looking at literally any of the rest of these tackles except Isaiah Wilson. Any of the rest of these tackles, like Jedrick Wills, liked him. Mekhi Becton was the one I liked. Tristan Wirfs, he's got a ring. Austin Jackson, he's good.
Worst is the guy that I was hoping for before we picked who we did, but yeah.
Wirfs and Wills are both from Alabama.
See, I wish we'd have done something even more spectacular because it would have worked and we would have got who we really wanted. The guy we never had a chance to get for defense, Chase Young.
Yeah, that was the one we were talking about leading up to the draft. Like, oh man, please let him fall. He was the one.
I remember.
Why let him fall? You know what? You go and get him. You trade up.
Yeah, what was it going to cost though? That was the other thing, because Washington, they like in the last 4 or 5 years, they've spent. I mean, I think in 5 years they've spent like 4 first-round picks on defensive
D-line.
linemen or edge rushers, and that's why I thought maybe that in that Stafford trade we might be able to get Montez Sweat. Like they're already stacked. Same thing with San
Montez
Francisco.
Sweat. Montez Sweat is the guy that I wanted over. What was it in that same draft? Hawkinson, I think, or
Yep,
somebody else.
I
But
believe
Ed
so.
Oliver.
yeah, I wanted Sweat, Oliver, or God forbid,
Josh
Josh
Allen,
Allen
the
drop
linebacker.
out last. But yeah. But we took Hawkinson, and I can't complain. He did better than what I thought, but I still would have loved to have either Ed
He's
Oliver or
officially
Sweat.
a Pro Bowler. Quinn
It's
actually
that's the thing
drafted
though. Like
Pro Bowler.
a tight end that high is a fucking luxury pick. Ed Oliver, I'd rather have Devin Bush, Jonah Williams.
3 years ago,
I don't know. Maybe
Devin
that
Bush.
guard on Atlanta. Is he any good?
Who?
Oh, here's 2 tackles that I haven't heard shit about. They must not be playing.
Who?
Yeah, Montez Sweat dropped all the way to 26.
All because he had like a heart murmur at the combine or some shit. But
Yeah, he was still showing signs of a heart murmur, and he had some sort of surgery in the off season, and it fixed it.
yeah,
You know what's funny though? So we took Jelani Tavai at 43, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at all the rest of the picks in round 2,
Yeah.
and other than AJ Brown and DK Metcalf, I don't see anyone else that I would have rather had.
Right. Either one of those two I'd have been fine with. I wanted us to get the next Calvin Johnson, which was DK Metcalf.
in round 2, I wanted what was it, defensive tackle Matabuke or whatever. He went early, or no, not him. Blacklock out of TCU.
Yeah, him.
It
You were
was
very
him.
high.
Him, Matabuke Way, or Strobridge out of North Carolina. Over
Blacklock must have went later. I'm not even seeing his name. But yeah, I remember seeing that guy like, yeah, let's get him.
Well, going in, he was one of the up there for one of the better tackles, but he dropped. So I'm like, well, if he's there, I hope we take him. And then we take Jelani Tavai. I'm like, as well as many others. I was like, who the fuck is this guy? I never heard of him before. Freaking 4th round pick. They
I
didn't even.
bet Jeremy was breaking shit when we took Jelani Tavai.
Nope.
Okay, wait, oh yeah, okay, you're right. Blacklock did go 2nd round. Couple picks before us. Wait a minute. Oh, that was the year after. That was this most recent draft. But we took Swift. Blacklock went 40.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm happy we took Swift. I was happy. I didn't think he was going to be there in the 2nd round.
Nobody did.
Yeah, but I mean, I see Robert Hunt, the guard, was the guy that I wanted, other than Blacklock.
I'm a defensive guy. I was hoping we would have addressed our D line somewhere, but we didn't. But
You
Well,
know,
we
you were
did. But we waited to the 6th and 7th round.
yeah,
You were very pissed, Stan, when we didn't address our D line for 3 straight years.
well, yeah,
That dude from Penn State went a couple picks after Swift as well. That Gross Matos dude.
Oh,
Yeah.
I wanted him. He went to the Panthers.
yep. That's another guy I wanted. I'm like, what the fuck? He's there, and we passed on him. Well, damn it.
Yeah. Also AJ Espenza from what, like Iowa.
I wanted him too. He was falling.
Raekwon Davis also still there.
I
AJ
wanted
Dillon,
him.
maybe not that high. I mean, I would have rather. That was the thing. I wasn't like super mad about the DeAndre Swift pick, but I was like, there's other guys later on. AJ Dillon, Antonio Gibson. Who else? Zach Moss, I like.
That's
Jalen Waddle goes 6th and Lance Zierlein's new mock to the Miami Dolphins.
hey, cool. Take him so we can.
And then at 7,
Please.
Is Chase
And
already
then
gone?
at 7, we take Devontae Smith.
Oh God.
I mean,
I just saw that starting to pop up again because like months ago, I was seeing Smith like frequently, and then he had kind of disappeared, but now he's back in the mix, and it's like no.
I'm praying that Jamar Chase falls to 7 now, so we take him instead of Smith.
Okay, the least of 3 evils. I mean, I'd rather have Chase than Smith or Waddle. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Smith he's the wide receiver version of T.J. Hawkinson.
I'm not even gonna say that.
I would take
How
Kyle
can't
Pitts
you?
over any of
It's the
those.
same thing.
Here's
It's
the
the same.
thing. I wouldn't be mad if we took Smith, but I would be confused on why we took him.
I mean, we do need a receiver. He's just not worth taking there. And he's TJ Hawkinson at wide receiver because he was not even the starter until the starter got hurt.
If we're gonna take any type of pass catcher at 7, even though I would prefer an offensive tackle there, any of those top guys, I would take Pitts over any of those guys.
Yeah,
That's
it's
just
gotta
my
be
opinion.
Okay, Jeremy, Dan, because I know you guys have said this. What if Chase, Slater, and the Oregon guard, or is he a late tackle? Yeah, Sewell. What if we take Chase over both of them? If all 3 of them are there, we take Chase over both of them.
It'll be
how would
fucking
you
well,
feel?
Daniel. We don't know what they're gonna do. We keep telling you
Okay,
that.
so Devontae Smith is the one with the pro comp to Marvin Harrison.
Yeah.
Yup.
I'm not impressed with. I was never that impressed with Marvin Harrison. He ran crisp routes. He was allergic to yak, and he played with a top 3 to 5 quarterback of all time. He also murdered someone at a car wash. He's another one of those ones like Devontae Adams. Like you can't fully sell me on Devontae Adams until he goes somewhere else or it's the post Aaron Rodgers era.
Well, here's the thing. Devontae Adams was going to make more money than what he got in Green Bay, but he wanted to stay in Green Bay.
Wouldn't you?
Yeah, if you still had Aaron Rodgers throwing to you, then yes.
But will
Like
he
the-
have him in
The division
3
for
years?
now is a cakewalk, especially now.
But later
Yes.
on, when that deal still happens, would
The
you still
division
want to
right
stay
now,
there?
the division right now, like Dom said, is a cakewalk. I mean, you got the Bears with what fucking Andy Dalton as their quarterback.
Andy Dalton, Jared Goff,
Kirk Cousins.
and fucking
Kirk
Kirk
Cousins.
Cousins.
It's winnable. We can go second place if we play well.
Oh, we can be first loser.
What is the point in winning any games in the next 2 years?
Playoffs. Don't talk about playoffs.
Playoffs.
Playoffs? I don't know that we can win a game.
Playoffs.
I looked at the. Oh, okay.
Who said
Let's-
anything
let's
about
have a look.
playoffs?
Let's have a look. Because I see maybe 4. What I do
Uh-oh.
see is road games in the drivable vicinity, specifically Cleveland and Pittsburgh. Schedule. At Atlanta, not winning.
I see us
That's-
winning.
No. No.
You
Why
think we're
not?
losing to Atlanta?
Atlanta kind of sucks. They had to cut everybody.
It's on the road.
We just beat them on the road because Todd Gurley's a moron.
Okay. Okay. Well, let's say at best, it's not a guaranteed win. Like it's a plus
It's
or
a
minus.
toss up. It's
Right.
a toss up game.
Yeah, this is how you end up with the range of at
LA,
Chicago.
we win.
At Chicago.
Could win.
Like, can we call that a win?
We could win. I'm not going to call it a win.
Okay, so plus minus. At Cleveland, we're not winning.
We could
That's a
beat
loss.
Cleveland.
No, we
No,
won't.
We can't.
Chicago, also a plus minus.
Yep. That's a toss up.
Green Bay at home.
We
We
could beat
could
Green
win
Bay.
that. We could beat
Okay,
Green
that
Bay
also
in
a plus
our-
minus. At home against Minnesota, same deal,
We
right?
could beat Minnesota. They're not that good.
We could. Hang on. Let me get back to it. Arizona at home.
I
Same
think
thing,
we
right?
beat Arizona.
We can win.
Plus minus, right?
Yep.
That's what 6 wins
Oh,
already.
that's holy fuck, is that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8-game homestand. That can't be right. 8 games in a row at home?
That would be
No, I don't think
great.
it's going to be that.
Are you fucking kidding me? I mean, it says at for Atlanta, at Chicago, at like we start out 3 games on the road, then literally home, like home Chicago, home Green Bay, home Minnesota, home Arizona, home San Francisco, home Baltimore, home Cincinnati. Okay, where were
We
we?
could
Home
beat
against San-
Baltimore. We could beat Baltimore. I don't think Baltimore.
Okay, San Francisco, we could beat them, right?
Yes, that's
At
a
home?
plus minus.
Home against Baltimore, we're not beating them.
No.
We could.
No. No. Home against Cincy. We could.
Yep.
Yeah, we could.
Home against Philadelphia.
We will beat in Philadelphia.
We could win. We will. We beat them
I'm
last year.
calling that a W. We could conceivably be battling it out for. Oh, this is spectacular. I didn't even know. At Green Bay, that's a loss.
Yep.
Call me
I
crazy.
didn't know we played the Rams this year.
Yeah.
On
At
the
the
road.
Rams.
That's a definite loss.
Yeah.
No, I'm not gonna say that.
Stop
Oh,
it.
yeah. They got a way better defense. We're losing.
At Pittsburgh, also a loss.
Not necessarily.
At Seattle, also a loss.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
necessarily.
16, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's only 15 games. Can I not count? 1, 2. Atlanta, Chicago, Cleveland is 3. Chicago, Green Bay, Minnesota is 6.
They don't have one listed on there. We are
Yeah, they're
17
missing at least
before
one. Oh, hang on. I missed one. After the Rams is at Minnesota.
We could beat Minnesota.
We could.
We could.
We won't,
Well, that's
but
one of
we
those,
could.
like, we're not sweeping them.
I think
Like the-
I think due to the Dan Campbell factor, gnawing kneecaps off and shit, I think we can get at least one against each team in our division.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like the whole division is a plus minus. Like we're not sweeping anyone, or if we sweep Minnesota, we'll get swept by Chicago or vice versa, right?
Yeah.
So
But if we
there's
sweep
literally,
both
from what we
Minnesota and
said,
Chicago,
the only team we think we're for sure beating is Philadelphia, right?
Oh,
definitely.
100%.
too many
And
of these
Atlanta.
are plus
I think we
minus.
beat Atlanta. We beat them last year.
Okay, call that a win. That's
I
that's
think we
two
could
wins on
post
your
a lot of.
schedule. And a lot of plus minuses. So wait, two. If we win 6 games, it's a success in a way, I would think.
I'm
if
saying
we
that I think we could win 6, 7, 8 games at at best.
What if we win 9 to 10 games?
Not this
You're
year. I don't think.
There's one more game that's not on that for our opponents. Because they
Denver.
added the 17th game this year. There's only 3 preseason games.
Denver.
No. At
Did they even say who it is?
it's Oakland.
We could beat Oakland.
I mean,
at home?
Las Vegas.
Vegas?
Yep.
We could.
Oakland's not that good.
It's Vegas, but yeah, but
I mean, they could rig it.
Well, let's say we potentially go 3-3 in the division, and we beat Philly and we beat Atlanta. There's your 5 wins. Anything more than that is a success.
I
I
think
said all along, if we at least match last year's and not be a bottom basement defense, it's a win.
How many wins do we have last year? 4?
5.
5.
5. So, 5.
I think we can go at least 8 and 8.
We
Quit being a
could.
homer. Be realistic. We have the 32nd defense in scoring overall.
I think we get at least 1 win against each team in the division because we play them twice, and we can get maybe an additional 2, maybe 3 after that. So
Okay, so that's 5.
7 wins.
Cleveland, Baltimore, the Rams. Wait, Cleveland, Baltimore.
Could we beat Baltimore?
Rams, yeah, that's 4 for sure losses.
I think
So
we
you
could beat
got
Baltimore or
9.
Cleveland.
8. Wait.
I think we sweep Chicago this year.
Well, then we'll get swept by Minnesota. We're not winning
I
more
don't
than
think that'll
3 games
happen
in the
either.
division.
I
we're
don't
not
think
winning more
that'll
than 3
happen
games
either.
in the division. We're not. We won't.
I
Unless
think we'll split with
maybe
Minnesota.
we
We'll
beat.
sweep.
But the other thing is, we don't play Green Bay late enough in the season for them to have the division locked up to sit Rodgers. Because like we could beat them early in the year, and then maybe beat them at the end of the year if Rodgers is sitting.
Off that schedule you just looked at, who's our last game this year?
Vegas or Seattle.
Seattle or Vegas? Okay.
We could beat Seattle. I think we could beat Seattle.
We're not beating Seattle on the road. Please stop.
Seattle's gonna smoke us. We could potentially beat Vegas, possibly. I'm not guaranteeing that, but we could beat them. So,
Well, that's one of the. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4.
There's 4 winnable games outside the division.
So that's
I mean, it
like
looks
8,
like maybe
7
maybe
wins.
5. Like if we split the division and we beat Atlanta and Philly, there's 5 wins. Your 4 for sure losses are at Cleveland, Baltimore, the Rams, and Seattle. Oh wait, and Pittsburgh. 1, 2, 3.
I
No,
think
it's
we
just
can
4,
beat
right?
Pittsburgh. I'll argue on that one.
I think we could beat.
Only if
Cleveland.
we go.
I think we could beat Cleveland. I don't think Cleveland's going to be that good this year.
Bullshit. They're making the playoffs again this year. They're a good team.
Do we have a better chance to beat? Those are both road games, by the way. Do we have a better chance to beat Pittsburgh or Cleveland on the road? Pittsburgh, right?
Pittsburgh.
So we're going
They
to the
were the
Pittsburgh
worst
game.
11-0 team in the league last year.
So we're going to the Pittsburgh game.
Why not?
I don't care if I'm wrong on this. I'm just making a bold prediction, upset special, I think that we could upset Stafford and the Rams next year.
Ooh,
And if
I
I'm
like
wrong,
that.
I'm wrong. I don't care, but I'm
Oh,
going to
absolutely,
call
we
that right
could.
here.
But if keep in mind, any game that we win that you assume that we would lose, you better scratch one off the win column. Like say it like if we beat the Rams, we're not beating Atlanta or
What if-
Philly.
I,
Because
I
why?
could agree. I could agree with that. Okay, I know how it goes, but
For beating
What-
Arizona.
I think we'll beat in Arizona.
we could beat
Okay.
them.
So you want to give that? You're saying Arizona is a win? Well, then we're not beating, say, San Francisco.
I think we
Okay,
could beat
or-
San Francisco.
We could. So then cross off 2 plus-minus games.
Oh my
Every game we win, that's a plus-minus scenario. It's plus-minus for a reason.
Okay, let me ask you this. If we pressure Lamar Jackson enough, can we beat Baltimore?
Boy, you're asking a tall task there, brother.
I know.
First off, we don't have 7 Micah Parsons on the front 7.
I understand. But could we?
No,
We could beat Baltimore.
I don't think we
But
can.
the thing is, like, okay, if you're beating Baltimore, say,
Then who are you
and the
not
Rams,
beating?
like, you're not beating Baltimore, Cleveland, and the Rams, because that
not?
doesn't balance out.
Why not?
Because for every game that we win that you didn't think that we would, we lose a game where you're like, how the fuck did we lose to them? It's just
That
like the
is true.
division.
I agree with that wholeheartedly. What he
At,
just
like,
said.
at
So,
best, we're winning 3 games in the division. Or if we win 4, you better tack another loss on somewhere else against someone else that you're like, how the fuck didn't we beat them?
Oh, could you see us? How many games could you see us win, Dom? Hypothetically.
He said 5.
Max. 5, 6 maybe, but probably 5.
I think
I'm-
we could win at least 7.
Yep. I'll go with Andrew there. I think we get 6, 7 at best.
I mean, we could win 7.
Maybe 8 if we're lucky.
No,
I
not
say-
8.
I say 7 due to the Dan Campbell factor. And you got to remember, he coached 12 games as interim in Miami. He won a shit ton of games there with equal, if not less, talent than what we have now.
If we win 7, we somehow miss the playoffs by 1 game or on a tiebreaker, and it's because we lost to, like, Philly.
Yeah.
I can't imagine we win 7 games. Plus, why? There's no reason.
If we make the playoffs, do you think we can win a playoff game this year?
Well, you have to make the playoffs in order to win a playoff game, and there's no fucking way in hell that we make the playoffs. It's not. How?
You like
I
I
There's,
was-
said,
al-
6,
there's
7
always a
wins at
chance.
best. So
there's always a chance.
This happened once before when Aaron Rodgers got hurt and the division was there for the taking and we just blew it.
I understand. I know. But, it just feels like that this regime could be unexpected to a bunch of teams, or people in general, or fan bases.
Well, wait, they added another wild card team now, right?
Yeah.
So
3
it's
wild
4
cards.
division winners and 3 wild cards.
Yes.
How in the hell do you figure either by record or by tiebreaker? How the fuck could we possibly be the 7th best team? Unless there's a bunch of injuries, like Green Bay, they're going to win the division. Minnesota, they're better than us. There's two.
I don't know about that.
The East, yeah, there's only one team coming out of the East. So, but there's three. The West, every team in that division is better than us.
I'm willing to argue on Minnesota being better than us.
They're better than us. They have a better running back. They have better wide receivers.
They don't have a good defense, though.
It's not as shitty as ours.
Our defense isn't that bad this year on paper.
If by some miracle that it's between us and Minnesota at 7 wins and we've got the tiebreaker over them because we either swept them or I can't remember how that second tiebreaker works. It's either like conference record or record against similar opponents. No way in hell we make the playoffs. And what for?
I don't think we're making the playoffs, but my prediction is like 6-7 wins at best.
Here's the
nowhere.
thing. Here's the
6.
thing.
7 would be a success.
Yeah.
Dom, let me say
Well,
this.
I'm giving
You
it
say
6-7.
we don't make you
Sure.
we don't have you say we don't have a chance to make the playoffs, but when you look at our coaching staff, we have one of the most accomplished coaching staffs that we could ever put together. You don't think that coaching staff could lead us into the playoffs?
No, what we have is a bunch of guys that have never had that job and then older guys ready to take over when those guys get fired.
And that's actually, Andrew, that's legitimate right there, because the two guys at the top, Holmes and Campbell, well, Holmes has never been a GM before. Campbell was in the league for a cup of coffee, 12 games. So if those two guys shit the bed, you got John Dorsey taking over for GM and potentially Anthony Lynn as head coach, unless he leaves for another job after a couple years. But yeah.
Maybe I'm drinking the Kool-Aid a little bit.
You know what's funny? Guess what the over-under is on wins?
What?
6.5.
So about 7 if you round it up.
6-7. I gave a range 6-7. So
I'm going that we may. This might be a little bit too bold.
I mean,
think
I'd
we
be
can make
happy with 6.
I think we can make the playoffs.
No way in hell.
I don't buy that, but I appreciate your opinion on the matter, Andrew. So
And why? What do you want to make the playoffs for?
To win a playoff game.
So you think you're gonna beat the best team that didn't get a bye? Oh no, wait, there's only one team gets a bye.
We could beat a wild card team, yes.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. If we did happen to make the playoffs and then played the Rams and beat them, that'd be awesome.
Oh, definitely. Because we had their first round pick.
There's no reason and very little possibility that we make the playoffs.
If there is, are you going to be happy?
I think there's a slight chance we could upset the Rams in the regular season just because I called it. But if we meet them in the playoffs, I think they beat the shit out of us. But that's just me. At least
Let me ask you this. Could we beat Seattle on the road?
Nope.
On paper, no.
we
don't play on paper.
It's not about on paper. We can't beat them, period. Seattle has maybe the best home field advantage in the entire NFL.
Okay, I'll agree with that.
However, if they already have the division locked up, which I don't see, but if they're locked into their playoff position and they don't start Russell Wilson, then maybe. If Russell Wilson's hurt or sitting, maybe.
You don't think we could beat Russell Wilson if he's playing?
Fuck no.
I like the way you said that. I think we could. let me tell you something. I think we could beat the Rams because Jared Goff knows the system.
Well,
But then Stafford knows the Lions system.
and both teams will probably make adjustments when they play each other. So,
I mean, it's the NFL, and you've seen this team go out here and beat, we almost beat Kansas City a couple of years ago. We were a wrap-up / tackle away from beating them. And I'm fairly certain every other game in Patrick Mahomes' career, he threw a touchdown pass, except that game against us, and we fucking still lost.
Want to know what's crazy? You were probably one of the ones that's when you saw Kansas City on that schedule, you say, "Oh, we're playing Patrick Mahomes. Oh, fuck, we're gonna get our ass kicked."
I mean, it's a pretty safe bet.
But we had a chance to win. Now, why didn't we win? Because Matt Patricia.
Because we don't know how to win, because we don't win close games, because the refs and the league and the powers that be make sure that we don't win games.
Or was it the coaching staff that made it sure we didn't win the games?
No, it was because we didn't tackle that dude, at the 2-yard line.
But
scheme, lack of talent that the former regime brought here.
We don't win close games.
And yes, that's true. We don't win the close ones. So,
but that's a conflagration of things. It's because we don't know how to win close games, and the league makes sure that we don't.
let me ask you a question, Dom.
That was 2019, correct?
Dom. Because if you think about it, when you look at this coaching staff, even though it's inexperienced and we don't know what they're going to do the first year, of course, on paper, we might have one of the most experienced coaching staffs in the NFL. Could you see us winning?
But we also we're going to have a mostly talent deficient and super young team. Like I expect, and that's why we might get to 6 or 7 wins, because we're going to have a bunch of young, hungry players. We might will our way to a win, or
or the playoffs.
No. And no.
Come on, Dom. Don't you want to win a playoff game this year?
Sure, but this isn't the year to do it.
Yes, it is. Every year is the way to do it. You got to shock the world. You got to prove everybody that this is the new regime that's going to work.
If we had a little bit more talent and Matt Stafford still, like what team was it? When we lost to Seattle in the playoffs, that team. When was that?
2016. That was the year that our entire defense was depleted and we had no wide receivers because they were mostly.
Oh yeah, we backed into the playoffs. Like we were 4-4, then we were 9-4, then we lost 4 straight games and backed into the playoffs.
Yeah.
That team. Where do I see the stats? Because that defense wasn't really any good, but
we made the playoff because of our offense.
It wasn't even really it was.
Was that the Jim Schwartz coach team? Or?
No, that was the Jim Caldwell.
First year of Caldwell.
Okay.
I'm trying to see.
No, that was the second year because the first year of Caldwell, we made it to the playoffs in 2014 against the Cowboys.
Yeah, that's accurate. Yeah, that was Caldwell's last year, 9-7. I'm trying to find
Here's the crazy
Show
thing,
me.
Dom. We have had decent coaches in Detroit over the years, but would you have ever thought that we would be one of the only teams in the NFL who has never had a decent GM?
I mean, years and years ago, I would have said I was surprised, but now I understand how this shit works. And yeah, idiots hire idiots who hire more idiots.
I understand. But I'm just saying, I mean, it's pretty remarkable that even, I mean, we're all hoping that Brad Holmes is that genius of a GM that he can hold into the Ozzie Newsome role that everybody's comparing him to be. What if he is? Then we'll look
I mean,
like
everybody's got to
geniuses.
get their start somewhere. I can't find it now, but I'll tell you how that 2016?
Yeah,
That was the last time we
16.
made the playoffs, right? Against Seattle?
Yeah, we got our ass kicked against Seattle.
I'll tell you how we made the playoffs.
We only scored 9 points total against Seattle.
Six.
Oh, okay. I had it on. I had more points than I should have. We couldn't even score a touchdown because we had no wide receivers in that game.
See the stat.
I think our best wide receiver that was playing was number 13 Jones that year.
Oh, that was post Kelvin. Stafford
Not
was
Marvin
18 of
Jones. I'm talking
32
about the
for
other Jones.
205 yards, no TDs, no picks. And Zach Zenner was our leading rusher.
Yeah, yikes.
Zach Zenner.
Yikes. I never liked Zach Zenner. I never understood the hype from him. I have never liked him.
Penguin feet.
It used to bug the crap out of me when Lion fans would always say, "Yay, we signed Zach Zenner." I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, am I missing something? I'm like, you guys are acting like he's the next Babe Ruth.
That was pretty sweet. The season that we cut him, and then the last game that we played against the Packers, or like at some point before that, we re-signed Zenner, and he rushed for close to 100 yards against the Packers as we kicked their ass towards the end of the season. But I thought that was pretty
right.
cool.
But you
I
want to know
must
what's
be
crazy?
misremembering.
You want to know what's amazing? I might be one of the only Lion fans that wasn't a Zach Zenner fan.
Oh, I wasn't.
And that's
I mean-
fine. And that's cool. Like I wasn't his biggest supporter either, but he did have that a couple of good preseason games, and then like I just mentioned, that one pretty sweet game where he showed up off the couch and almost rushed for 100 yards as we.
Oh, against Dallas when we got whooped.
Well, that, and then he helped us beat the Packers too. So.
But besides that, it's like I just never truly understood why so many Lion fans were pissed when we didn't re-sign Zach Zenner or we cut him in the preseason or we just didn't want him back. I mean, there were so many Lion fans when we keep him, they're just roaring and cheering and everything. And I'm like, I never understood the hype. I'm like, I don't want this guy back.
It's just
There was
one of
also like one or two other times where we put him in a bad spot. Like it was a game against the Giants. We drove all the way down the field and then we brought him in like in a goal line situation, cold off the bench. And it was late in the season, road game against the Giants, and he fucking fumbled.
Yeah, that's definitely not a good spot for him. So
That's a Lions move.
it is. That's your what is it? Cuz Lions move or whatever. Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
But
And I was thinking, I just looked, and so supposedly I'm not wrong, but I was thinking that 2016 team, I could have swore our defense was like pretty average, but had like a ridiculously good turnover differential. But I just looked and it said it was -1. So apparently that wasn't it. Maybe it was what year did we make the playoffs against the Saints?
2009,
No, it wasn't that far back.
2010.
Hold
was.
on. It was Stafford's.
It was like pre-young Stafford.
It was
Like,
his
really
best
young.
year as a pro when he won Comeback Player of the Year. And I was like, I hope this is the best season he ever has.
And then the Saints kicked our ass in the playoffs. Like bad.
2011.
We could have beat the Saints that year too.
That was the only one of those 3 playoff games where Stafford played well enough to win.
No, he played well against the Cowboys
No, he didn't.
in the playoffs.
I remember. Was it the season that Jim Schwartz?
Okay, 2011. Our defense was not good, but we were 3rd in the league in turnover differential. San Francisco was plus 28, Green Bay plus 24. We were plus 11.
What was the
Actually,
year?
our defense was good. That was when that run defense was fucking sick.
I remember one year. I want to say it was when we made the playoffs with Schwartz as our coach. I remember we got killed in the playoffs, and I want to say it was against New Orleans, but I could be wrong. But
Yeah, that was 2011.
yep, they like killed us. It was bad, but
Like historically, that was one, like single season wise, that was one of the like 5 or 6 best run defenses in NFL history. No, that was against that. That was 14 when we lost to Dallas.
and we lost to Dallas due to that BS Calvin Johnson rule or whatever.
No, that was not against Dallas.
That was that picked up pass interference because they called it and then they picked it up.
That
Gotcha,
BS
yeah.
pass interference call.
And then after the game, they showed Jerry Jones like in the party bus with some of the fucking referees.
Yeah. That's, oh my God, that was, I don't know, but that's insane.
That pissed me the fuck off. Because we had that game won. I think we had that game won.
What about was it was a couple years ago we were playing the Packers. I think it was early on in the season, and we're talking about BS penalties. What about that phantom like fucking face mask call or whatever where we didn't even touch the guy, but
Oh yeah, well you should have known better. That was against the NFL's darling, Aaron Rodgers.
oh, I know that.
Oh,
I mean, if you look at that game, I mean, like you saw the replay, you didn't even touch the guy. Because of that play, it put them in position to kick the game-winning field goal. And then one thing I remember the most, it was after the game, the next day on ESPN, you had fucking the NFLPA guy and the head of officiating coming out like, oh, by the way, yeah, that was a bad call. That
Yeah, we fucked that up. Well,
I love it when they do that.
Listen, the catch rule, the phantom face mask, whatever they called the Golden Tate thing, that game against Seattle, also on primetime, the batted ball.
Yep.
Oh, I remember that.
We don't win those games. There was one couple years ago where we lost close on a questionable call, and I called it beforehand. Like, if you're the Detroit Lions, you cannot leave the game in the hands of the officials because you will not get that call.
Exactly. You won't get the call, and more than likely, you won't win that game either. So
They hate us, like as a team, a fan base, and a city.
yes, I agree.
That game against the Saints, we couldn't stop a fucking gentle breeze, right?
Yeah, that was just all bad. Like the loss was so bad. I'm pretty sure they pretty much scored on almost every offensive possession. It was horrible. I mean, it was
45-28.
yeah. Our defense was shit in that game.
We were actually up 14-10 at at halftime.
Yeah, and then they blew it up in the second half. That was just a bad game. Oh my god.
Stafford was 28 of 43, 380, 3 TDs, 2 picks. Oh, that was also the game when Calvin went over 200 yards. Drew Brees, unfortunately, was 33 of 43 for 466, 3 TDs, no picks.
Yeah.
They also ran it all over us.
Did they have Kamara at the time, or was that?
No, that
Oh,
was,
no, that
Murray.
was
Murray.
Pierre Thomas, Sproles,
Wasn't it
Chris
Murray
Ivory.
too?
Huh?
Wasn't it Murray?
Uh,
No, it was before they had him too. Pierre Thomas, Darren Sproles, and Chris Ivory on 23, 31. They had like 160, 170 some rushing yards and
yeah.
3 TDs.
Holy shit.
Not to mention all the passing yards.
Damn.
That was the only one that Stafford played well enough to win.
Holy shit, dude.
Like that game against where'd it go? Dallas. Well, not great, but not terrible. 28 of 42 for 323, 1 TD, 1 pick. But I mean, clearly most of that was in the first half. Second half, oh yeah, not even 6 points. We scored 3 points in the second half. That's not going to cut it.
Yeah, that was just a horrible game right there.
You want to know who was calling that game too? When we were playing Dallas?
Who?
Joe Buck and Troy Aikman. The pre-Dallas lovers.
That's terrible. Not surprised though.
And they were like, I'm shocked that they threw the flag. I didn't
Didn't,
think that was pass interference.
Didn't they just put like Joe Buck in like the NFL Hall of Fame or some shit like that not that long ago?
Ew, seriously?
I heard something like that. I don't know if it's that or the baseball one, but one of the sports
both.
games that he calls that they put him in the Hall of Fame. So
It was both football and baseball.
son of a bitch.
What I
And
can't
they're gonna-
figure out is I don't know anyone that really likes Joe Buck. Like some people don't have a strong opinion on him sucking, but really, who likes Joe Buck?
His
I
voice.
don't like him. I don't like Joe Buck, and I don't like that Chris Collingsworth either.
Now here's a
Oh,
guy.
Yeah, those two guys I can't stand. But
What about
They gave his fucking, and it's a fucking spitting image. Collinsworth's son has a job, like he's like a sideline reporter or something, and I was like, oh my god, there's another one.
yeah,
Fucking
you
awful.
want to know what I was very disappointed about? And maybe I was one of the only ones. I actually liked Mike Tirico on Monday Night Football.
he's not bad.
Wait, was Tirico ever on Monday Night Football?
Yes,
I think he was for a little bit. Yes.
with
He was
John
on, like,
Gruden.
I thought he was on like Sunday night.
With John Gruden.
I miss the old days of Monday Night Football, like back when John Madden was a commentator and shit
I was
like
gonna
that.
say Madden and fucking Pat Summerall.
Yep, Madden. And this is stupid, but during gameplay, John Madden would pull up on the telestrator and measure offensive linemen's ass sweat, and be like, "Whoa, that's how you could tell how hard they're working when they have sweat on their ass."
That's so weird.
Wow, damn. How did I miss that? Tirico was doing that shit for 10 years.
Yup.
Told you.
Did
I
not
mean,
know that.
he would pull that up on the telestrator and be like, you can tell those O linemen are working hard by how much sweat they have in their ass. I don't think he said ass on live TV, but he would, the yellow
was probably
marker on the
thinking-
telestrator on their rear ends, and he would point out the sweat on their rear ends. So that, I don't know, that was something that was kind of funny and crazy to me when I used to watch growing up. So
But he was probably thinking it too, wasn't he?
I mean, at this point, if they could get like a feed with, no delay, they should just bring Madden back and let him do it like from his house or whatever. That's why he quit doing it. He got old and he was tired of traveling.
Madden was one of my all-time favorite commentators, and I'm pretty sure he's a lot of other people's too. So
I was kind of like mildly disappointed when we hired Spielman, because it meant he wouldn't do the play-by-play for any of our games.
yeah,
They would give him one or two like during the regular season, but he did all the preseason games, and like he would get pissed and be yelling in the booth.
I remember that.
I wonder if they hired someone else, like Dorsey or something, basically as like the backup GM.
Yep, he's the special executive to the GM and the owner or some shit like that. But yeah,
Like they literally have someone at basically every position to be like the backup plan, do they not?
yes, they do. So if Campbell and frickin' Brad Holmes shit the bed, you got John Dorsey taking over at GM, and either Anthony Lynn taking over at head coach, or I heard rumors that our running back / assistant head coach Deuce Staley is being groomed for a head coach job. So
Yep.
take that for what it's worth.
He
So
had like maybe some offers, or he was a name like in the last
Yeah.
couple of years.
so we have replacements in place in case this current regime shits the bed. So
Yeah,
No.
that's true. Is Jeremy sleeping?
it shows he's still in here, so he may have passed out in the massage chair. So
He did say that you don't be shocked if he falls asleep.
right. But all right, y'all, like my phone's gonna die and shit, so I'm gonna get off this and end this feed. But it was nice talking to everybody.
Oh
Okay,
man, for sure.
want to do this tomorrow?
Possibly.
We'll see.
All right. Have a good night, everybody. I'm out.
Deuces. Yep.
Deuce.
All right.